You managed to get most of it on the paper this time. Good job, buddy.
Worried you're not gonna find your people.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, Clark. I have no people.
3 more of whatever you call that shit.
Let me help you.
It's Kryptos Fura, Nini. It's Fura.
It's a feisty little guy. It's cute. Is it okay if I...
You heard it up top. We are blasting off to celebrate our 23rd birthday because we're talking the 2026 masterpiece, Supergirl, the latest entry in the DCU here on Normies Like Us with your hosts. I'm a little dog named Calypto.
Mike of the Yellow Hills.
Oh,
And this is Super Jacob.
All right.
I wanted Jobo so bad.
Jobo?
Yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. Smoke a cigar. I should have had one of those for this episode for my bit, but instead I just have
Hell yeah. We have
Crypto the
Crypto.
Superdog. Who
Yay.
is not really in this movie very much. Spoiler, but
Crypto.com.
yes.
No,
Arena.
he's not in it as much as a movie that he maybe shouldn't has been in as much. It's very interesting how they make these films.
I wish he was in it more.
He's
Yeah,
getting
I
himself
wish he
into
was in
some
more
trouble
too.
every time we see him, yeah. But we're back
little
with
guy.
the second of the Super series from James Gunn's takeover of the DC.
Wow.
Jacob?
The DCU.
You
Yes.
know, DC Kid, I'm saying viewers at home, you got your Cleveland Superman shirt, famously
That's
a character
right.
created in Cleveland. They filmed
Cleveland
the movie
Cavaliers.
there.
Wow.
Created in that's right, created in Cleveland, Ohio, Superman. His cousin, Supergirl, I don't know where she was created, probably not in Cleveland, but on
Yeah.
Can you
Krypton.
imagine? Yeah. I would
Where
say.
was this character created? We're such experts
Today we're
here.
talking Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl.
And I guess that's a good place to kick this off. Is this is like the second Supergirl movie. I know there was one like in the 80s. I never saw that. I've famously never seen the Richard Donner Superman movies, a single one of them. So like this is my first Supergirl piece of media. I've never seen any of the TV shows, but you guys are a little bit
Okay.
more on the DC side. So where do you guys shake out as far as history with Kara Zor-El, Supergirl character, or this kind of corner of the DC universe?
Yeah, I would say for me, I mean, I've never seen the movie, the first movie in 1984, it says here. I haven't seen that one, but I do know, of course, of the Arrowverse, the CW DC shows, and the great Supergirl TV show. Wasn't that great, but Melissa Benoist,
Noise.
however you say,
Yeah.
her name. Supergirl of the CW, so I've seen that show, at least some of it. I haven't seen all of it because I haven't. But so that's my primary, I guess, Supergirl knowledge coming from there. What about you?
Gotcha.
Colin?
Yeah.
Rented the Helen Slater movie as a kid and was disappointed. It's super bad. It's her fighting Faye Dunaway as a witch. It's like
Okay.
her going to college and like trying to date rape a gardener. It's very crazy. I
Very
highly
wild.
Is
recommend
that supposed to be
it, but
set
not
like
a bad movie? Yeah.
that's in the same continuity as the Richard Donner Superman, or no?
There's a picture of Christopher Reeve in it. I think they'd like to imagine that it is. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
gotcha.
before they knew that you could do connected universes and things like that.
Before dumb shit like that mattered. But I
Yeah.
also was a huge fan of the Arrowverse, Jacob. I watched all of the Melissa Benoist show. I feel bad. I worry that she's kind of disappeared. She was in Glee before that, but a
Right.
good actress in my opinion. I don't know where she's
Former
gone.
Glee actors to CW super hero shows transition because, of course, Barry Allen, also from Glee,
A real pipe.
Grant Gustin.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm more familiar, obviously, with Arrow and Flash and Legends of Tomorrow, but they all had sort of yearly crossovers where they had big connected crossover 4-part episodes and things like that. And technically she was in a different universe, so they had to like explain why she kept running into those other guys and crossing over. But it was a pretty good show for its time, I think.
Fair. And none of this features Crypto the Superdog, I'm assuming, or am I mistaken? I figured probably
No,
not.
not really. I mean, they've included a little more. Her history's changed a lot. Well, I guess talk about that as we go. Obviously, we'd watch her in like the Superman animated series as well, Jacob, and
Yes.
things like that. Like she's obviously been an ever present character and satisfies that thing that was so 90s of, hey, what if we made a girl? What if we made the girl version of the thing you like? That would mean
Mhm.
girls would like our thing, right? And you're
Right.
like, well, not really. But I always thought Kara was a worthy successor of Superman's legacy, if not strange and complicated, as again we might get into.
I think, yeah, her
Yeah.
backstory is interesting. The way that she sort of grew up compared to Superman and the difference in their philosophies, which is kind of a big part of this movie as well. And yes, I remember her from the animated series. And of course, I was super attracted to her when I was
Hmm.
a child. Uh, and she was great, but
Mm.
she didn't grow up on Earth like Clark, of course, so she has a sort of different experience of Earth and stuff like that, which again this movie gets into a lot as well.
Yeah. We talked about, the Superman movie from last year. We all liked it a fair amount, and we
Yep.
kind of landed on like Clark Kent is not Superman. Like he's Clark Kent. Like he's
Right.
from Earth. Like he is Clark Kent more than he is Superman. But Kara Zor-El is Kara Zor-El because she is like
Yes.
tied to that Kryptonian
Interesting
identity.
point.
Yeah.
She ironically, yeah, she knows more about Krypton. She had a very different experience of growing up and stuff, and that sort of colors her worldview. And also, we should mention, of course, Sasha Kaye, who was
Yes.
technically
Please mention
Supergirl
that.
in The Flash just a couple years ago. The
I'm
With
so
the
you
greatest
said
superhero
Superbugs.
movie ever.
Supergirl. I think wasn't her character's name Super Fine?
Yeah, I think
She
so.
was super
Yeah,
fine, my
Super
man.
bad, I think, in another sense.
The
Yes.
super baddie, yes.
Yeah,
that's
super
right.
baddie.
That's right. She was a super baddie.
Respectfully.
And is.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
To
but
this
yes,
day.
of course, there was that incarnation of the character in the Flash before they rebooted that universe.
So
Can
if
I
you
ask
wanted
us
a
one
super
more
brooding
question?
one, you got it. Thanks,
Yeah.
Zack
Yeah,
Snyder.
if you want the Zack Snyder touch, baby, don't worry, he got his hands on all of it.
Uh-huh.
Before we dive into the actual plot of this film, can I ask us one more question to set up our knowledge or experience level with the DCU? You guys keep talking about it's this James Gunn universe, how many properties we've had, and a quick reminder on that, because it has deceptively an interesting amount, despite the fact that he
Mm.
will say things like this is only the second film in that entry. But you
Right.
could consider like the first, The Suicide Squad by James Gunn, which does have a lot of events that carry over to his show Peacemaker in this
Mm-hmm.
universe. And as a reminder,
Yes.
we've covered both those things on this podcast, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I think the Suicide Squad, you can kind of consider it half canon, because there are obviously characters like Peacemaker and even Amanda Waller who have sort of made the transition from the old DC universe into the new DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
And so the continuity is sort of up in the air with Peacemaker, with Creature Commandos, which
Yeah,
is a show. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
pause there because I want to ask Mike, you have not seen Creature Commandos, right? Remind
I have
us.
not seen Creature Commandos.
Okay.
No, I have not. But
Yeah.
what about
And
the
I
Blue
have
Jacob,
Beetle?
seen.
you watched that whole thing? Yeah.
Yes, I saw Creature Commandos. It's essentially a animated spin-off of the Suicide Squad, but more focused on creature type characters like a Frankenstein type of guy and or like well, the Bride of Frankenstein and like a Lagoon Boy and different characters like that.
Did you say
Um
there's some sort of Task Force M over Task Force X,
yes.
Jacob? Is that what you're implying?
Yes, but
And would
essentially
the M
the
stand for monsters?
Task Force Monster. Yeah.
Hmm.
And with of course being the there's Rick Flag Sr. is sort of the crossover character, played by Frank Grillo.
Yes.
Um,
Now, and then
and
to clarify
yeah,
a little more, we've then got a season of Peacemaker that's kind of in, and then we've got a season of Peacemaker that's kind of out. That's season 2
yes,
that we all universally very much
didn't
did
like
not
that much.
Didn't
enjoy.
love it.
Yeah,
So this is all Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters of the
that's of
DCU.
course.
Oh
Uh,
God.
Of course. And we all thought about that and remembered that while
yes,
watching this film.
Right.
and
We're
of course
gonna
there's going
just
to be a
have
lot
to
of other
point
chapters
out.
after this one.
Yes.
Um,
Maybe. We'll see.
So chapter 1 starts with Superman, of course. Well, you could say it starts with again the Suicide Squad, Superman, and then you have Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, and then you have this movie, Supergirl. Now, upcoming, you have, of course, the next thing to come out will be Lanterns on HBO. That's a series about the Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan and John Stewart.
Got a Clayface
That's
trailer
coming in
for this.
August. Clayface will be coming out later this year. That's the next movie to coming out, followed by Man of Tomorrow next summer, which is the sequel to Superman. And that's all that's really in the slate right now. There's other stuff that's been announced, like Booster Gold TV series, a Waller series, a Wonder Woman movie, obviously The Brave and the Bold, which will be a Batman movie, Swamp Thing movie directed by James Mangold. Those
We're
are
not
all
wasting
in
our time on
development.
any of these things that aren't going to happen. So let's.
Well, they
Right.
will be
got it.
happening.
We're all set up. Let's go ahead and
Yes.
dive right in right now to this crazy DCU. And again, it's quote unquote second film entry, Supergirl
Yes.
2026. We're back here on Normies Like Us. We're talking about Gods and Monsters, Pods
Chapter
and
1.
Monsters,
Nice.
the podcast. We're talking Supergirl.
Mhm.
That's right. Supergirl 2026, directed by not James Gunn, Craig Gillespie,
right.
of course.
And
Don't
you
Yeah.
would guess
assume
that.
that it is
Directed by
James Gunn.
Craig
And it
Gillespie.
doesn't feel like it's directed by anyone else.
No, of course not. Craig
So,
Gillespie, known for I, Tonya, Cruella, Fright Night, the remake. Not a director I love. I think all those movies are kind of just okay.
Mhm.
Sort of a journeyman director, a jobber, if you will. But
Yeah.
you know, we like the Cruella movie, okay, I guess.
Yeah, I like that. All
I
right.
think we talked about it a couple years ago, probably.
I like Pam and Tommy. I like the Fright Night remake.
Okay.
Oh,
I
sure,
haven't seen
sure.
those yet.
Yep.
Yep. So Journeyman with what's came from what I understand is a beloved comic book run. What's the name? Do we know what the name of this
Yes.
story
This is
outline that they based
Supergirl,
this on?
Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King and
That's right.
Bilquis Evely. Tom King, of course, famous for writing a lot of different DC stuff. Kind of a controversial figure. Some people like him, some people really dislike his writing. So I don't know how. I haven't read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, so I don't know if you have, Colin, but
I have,
yeah.
and I'll plug in a little bit of detail as we're going along because there are a lot of similarities, but also, of course, a lot of differences. But the big Tom King thing I want to point out, Jacob, you're right to be like, Tom King, kind of a controversial figure. Tom King, controversial figure as a writer, but the
Also
interesting
his
thing
past.
about him,
Yes.
is controversial as his past. As Mike,
Right.
I don't know if you know this, he was a CIA analyst during like Middle Eastern conflicts, Desert Storm stuff, and
Oh, whoa.
writes about such things in his material. And there's just a lot of talk about like maybe some xenophobia and stuff. Like he's a very rah kind of American kind of guy, although obviously critiques the past of
Right.
America. And it's just an interesting guy. I mean, he writes he writes so many different things.
That's
I don't
so.
know.
No, I didn't know any of that, like the CIA analyst stuff. That's weird. So he's covering like Jar Emperor and Baravia conflict and stuff.
Yeah, former
Not
CIA. So some people don't like him just based on that because, working for the CIA, doing probably
Doing
bad,
coups and
bad
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is fairly well renowned within DC Comics. Like that book itself, like is pretty well regarded. And so when that was sort of announced as the basis of this movie, I think people were excited for that. Whether that was adapted well or not is a different question. But essentially, it's taking the basic plot points of that book and having Ruthie Knoll, this young girl character who you kind of see Supergirl through her perspective for a lot of it.
And they were like going on an adventure to get revenge or whatever kind of thing, basically.
Yeah.
Roughly. So it's a True Grit. I've heard
Creme of
this
the Yellow
compared to.
Hills.
It
she's
introduces
getting revenge
character Creme of
by-
the Yellow Hills Mike Tom King directly shouts out that he is taking the narrative of True Grit, weaving it into this story. Jacob just said Ruthie Knoll, obviously a stand-in for the character Maddie Ross, a character. I mean, I guess it was just our Sinners episode where we talked about True Grit, right? We're all kind of on record as being like, we love True Grit.
I love
it. The remake True Grit with Jeff Bridges and Haley
Colin, I was going to bring up
awesome.
True Grit because without even knowing that particular, I was like, their relationship in this movie reminds me of that movie, and I love True Grit. I rewatch it all the time. It's a favorite of mine around the holidays. I like to watch it in December, and with Supergirl Kara being sort of the Rooster Cogburn and Ruthie being the Maddie Ross, it has that dynamic. But it's sort of this movie, you could describe it as True Grit meets John Wick meets Mad Max Fury Road meets Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, I think that's a good comp though. All four of those things in one.
Yeah. It is. Let's jump to first thoughts about this film, because I will just say that I have been super down on this movie. I've been super up on this movie as someone who was like, yo, Superman was like my favorite movie last year. I had it higher on my top 10 than you guys, where I was like, I love this universe. I love this movie. This girl's going to knock it off. And then if you guys recall, I saw the first trailer and I was like, Doomsday, eject, hit the red button.
You've been super down on it.
Yes.
Let's say I've seen your guys' letterbox ranking, so I kind of know how you're leaning on this movie.
And, and let's just say, Jacob, I was correct in those fears.
Well, man, I gotta pull that up.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, that is my opinion. I was incredibly let down by this film.
Okay. Yeah, and so again, I like Superman a lot too, and Game of Thrones. I like Millie Alcock, and when she showed up, is Kesha coded Supergirl, like, thanks for watching them, bitch, like party girl Kara Zor-El. I was like, I like this idea and I want to see more of this character, so I was like interested in this movie as a concept. But as I saw more of the trailers, I got more and more worried of like, what is this about? Like, what is the plot? Who's the villain? Because really, I think that's a big problem with this. I'll just say off rip is the villain is not very good, and the trailers didn't do a good job of selling. Well, maybe there's nothing to sell. Maybe that's my opinion. But I was getting colder and colder the closer and closer it got. But how about you, Jacob?
Okay. Well, I mean, you guys are kind of negative on it. I saw, Mike, you gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd. Colin, you gave it 1 star.
Charitable 2.
Absurdly low.
A charitable 1.
Oh no.
Okay, well, I'll say that I think it's time for Contrarian Jacob to come out.
Wow.
Because I loved it. I thought it was great. I mean, I loved it for what it was, but
which is nothing.
No, I would say it's, for me, it's like a 3.5 stars. I thought it was, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was, fine, and I loved it. But
that was pretty good. I thought it was fine. 3.5. You're those people I talk about on Reddit who say things like "F the critics." They don't even know what they're talking about. I had a great time in that I was out of my house and the air conditioning was on. 9 out of 10. Where I go,
I look at it this way.
Yes.
Is it as good as Superman? No. Is it
not even close?
Is it perfectly fine? Mid? As good as half the MCU output in MCU's history? I think so. I think I would say it's at least as good as like half of MCU's projects. So,
do you remember films you could stack it against? Like, do you remember the plot of Black Widow? Like, honestly,
I think it's better than Black Widow. I think it's better than the Marvels. I think it's better than
decent
Ant-Man
comp, I
Quadromania or whatever.
Better than Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better than Ant-Man 3.
Kind of looks like it sometimes.
Recent movies. I mean, I liked it more than Mortal Kombat 2. I think it's about the same as Masters of the Universe to me.
Whoa.
That's
wild.
Now
about the same.
That's crazy.
3.5 stars.
Okay.
Masters of the Universe changed my life.
This is the DC kid we're talking to, though. So, like, he knows his stuff.
I think it's perfectly fine. I think
I just
everyone
don't get it.
everyone
Yeah.
else is taking crazy pills on this one, where it's like this is like the worst movie of all time. When it's like it's a perfectly fine superhero movie with some heart, with some fun. It's got the good core relationship of Ruthie and Kara. I agree the villain is not the strongest. But again, if I compare it to like
That's a
older
Marvel
DC
thing.
movies like Aquaman, Wonder Woman 1984, it's better than those pieces of shit. Like,
Yeah.
so at least we're getting. And I
So
compare it to another movie that I liked more than the general public. It seems I like Birds of Prey. I really like Birds of
Can
I
I,
like
Prey.
Birds of Prey,
I'm
but
sorry,
that's a specific
Mike.
reason.
Mike, save your question for just 1 second. I have to just pull at this thread as Jacob's kind of it's like saying this thing.
Yes.
Is it better than a guy who starred in his own version of this? Is it better than the Aquaman movies? Would you like? Does
I
this
think.
justify taking this man away from this thing to put him in this thing?
Well, I don't think that Lobo was my favorite part of the movie, but I do think it's better overall than the Aquaman movies. Yes, I would say so. Even though I probably liked Jason Momoa as Aquaman more than as Lobo.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Here's the
Get
thing.
his ass.
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'll just say, going into this movie, because like the YouTube thumbnails I've been having a big problem with lately. Once a review embargo drops, like they're just cooking everything, and I'm getting all these thumbnails like, is it horrible? Is it that bad? And I'm like,
Of course,
guys,
it has
don't
to be
inform my
clickbait.
opinion. And there is that side of the internet
Yeah.
that's like, trash this movie because it has a woman
It's-
in it. But I was going in
Right.
trying to be like, I hope I can love this. Like, I really had an open heart to this when I sat down.
And
Yeah.
Mike, I am also going into this being like something weird is happening. And we have talked about it. We
Mhm.
did it in our Whatcha, where we were like, okay, the rise of the YouTubes, those two young gentlemen, they're doing great. Every other film is dead on the vine. And I understand people cannot.
It's all
afford
these big
cats, cannot
blockbuster
afford to go to the movies. But you
franchise
just
type
look at
movies.
every single one of them and you're like, all of them, even some weird small dramas, Jacob, have come out where you're just like, they slipped out these award films and nobody fucking talked about it. Like, what is fucking happening? And then like a Toy Story hit, and you're like, okay, like I guess that's normal or whatever. And then
No,
you
this
watch
year's been all
this
Pixar, and
Mhm.
it's Pixar. It's these YouTube. It's Obsession in Backrooms, and that's it. And like, yeah, this movie, 38
That Beaver
million in the
thing made
first
money.
weekend. Which one?
Hmm?
The Pixar Beaver thing made money.
Hoppers did pretty
did
well.
decent.
Toy Story did really
That's
well,
crazy.
obviously.
That's insane.
Super Mario Galaxy
Babysitter
did
movie.
really well, obviously. But everything else, Grogu, disappointed. Mortal Kombat, huge flop. Masters of the Universe, huge flop. This is looking like a huge flop. Yeah.
Devil Wears Prada 2.
That one did really well.
Outlier. Yes. I love
Because that must just be nostalgia for the first one and people going back to see it and loving the first one and
I don't
wanting to see
know.
those characters again.
But
everything
people
else, yeah.
To Mike's point, everyone seems so negative. I was being so negative.
Mhm.
I did not go into this. Like, God damn it. I told Jacob this off pod, but real quick, I took my mom to this, who just kept saying, I hate that young woman. I said, you hate Supergirl? What do you don't know
She's been
Supergirl?
following some YouTube
No.
accounts.
The actress who plays her. I said, you don't know Millie Alcock. You've
Yeah.
never seen Game of Thrones. She says, I just know that I hate her. And the whole time we watched the
Wow.
movie, she mimed sticking things in her eyes and she just kept going, eh. I was like, hey, you might
She said
be
she
the
hates
reason.
creature
And
features.
we left and she said, that's my least favorite type of movie. I said, superhero films? She said, creatures. And I said,
Creatures,
movies
yeah.
with creatures? She said, movies with creatures. I hate
Now,
There's like 3
I've heard that,
creatures
you know,
in this movie, and one of them Seth Rogen, Babu Frick.
there's some creatures, but I've heard, people say, oh, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like the Star Wars cantina scene. But are those supposed to be bad things? I like Guardians of the Galaxy. I like the Star Wars cantina scene.
And I hear those people saying those things, and they're not wrong.
Does this movie seemingly take place in the same universe as Guardians of the Galaxy? Maybe, but I don't have necessarily a problem with that.
Why does she have to have an iPod? Of like all the things, why should she have an iPod?
Is she basically female Peter Quill?
Why are there
Yes.
Yeah.
20 needle drops in this film? My review on
Well-
Letterboxd was, go off, King. You don't need a script, and needle drops absolutely replace them.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll say. So your mom. So obviously there's been a online campaign against Millie Alcock in the same way that there was for Brie Larson for Captain Marvel. So you can say
Right.
now I don't necessarily think that the quality of the movie will be dictated by these certain people saying, oh, blah blah blah,
No.
superheroes shouldn't be about women or whatever, because that's obviously stupid. But and now, of course, Captain Marvel made $1 billion, the first one, over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Um,
Like
so
when you
it's true. That movie somehow made a lot of money. So we know that female-led superheroes can do well. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like this movie is going to do well at the box office. So you can
It's like-
obviously evaluate the quality outside of these right-wing people saying like, oh, blah blah blah, feminist. Basically, they try to do it. They did the same thing with Rachel Zegler with Snow White, where they say, "Oh, the actress is trashing the IP or whatever because Millie Alcock made some comments about being in a female-led superhero film and et cetera, et cetera." And they're saying, "Well, that's why it's going to flop because people don't want to hear that." It's like, well, I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that's like the conversation for every movie with a woman in it. And, we don't agree with that, obviously. But like
So
I
obviously
said,
we
some
can
of these...
evaluate it outside of that.
So I wanted to go in and evaluate it on its own merits. And I think on its own merits, I was not very impressed, unfortunately.
That's fair.
No.
That's fair.
But I like it more
And
than Morbius, which it's opening comparably to.
which is insane. And
Yes,
my positives are Millie Alcock. I have
Yeah.
no issues with her performance at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say I loved it in that I love it as a 3.5 star mid
Let's like
superhero.
of it as a contrarian.
So check it out. I
Yeah.
like Supreme Pizza. I got it from Domino's once and it was good. And then I
Yeah.
got it from Pizza Hut. It was a little bit different, but it was still a Supreme Pizza. So I was happy. It's like, yeah.
Right. And it's like,
You still love
again,
it.
if you're comparing it to is it the most mind-blowingly original film of all time? No. But if you're comparing it to its peers, right? Other superhero movies and stuff, I think it's above average comparing it to the old DC EU, the MCU, whatever you want to compare it to. It's perfectly fine. And it's a fun adventure. I liked it.
I think at least Birds of Prey is interesting. There is nothing interesting about this film. I found it to be incredibly paint by numbers. Yeah, I don't know.
I like I like the true grit, the central relationship between Ruthie and Kara. I like the juxtaposition of Kara versus Clark. Again, I think that's a really interesting dichotomy of like how they grew up, their different worldviews. Oh, my cousin, he just sees the good in everyone, but I see the truth. And you have this young woman who's like an alcoholic who's like drinking herself to death because she's so depressed about the world and everyone that she knew dying basically, and her parents dying. Clark didn't have to deal with any of that because he was sent off as a baby. He grew up in small town Smallville,
No.
so that's all he ever knew.
No.
Yeah.
He was raised in a religious cult by two fanatics who wanted him to be a god, as his uncle basically
Right.
spells out in this that like his brother was an extremist.
Sending him to conquer Earth. But luckily Clark didn't know that.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's why we get the Superman
Yeah.
we
He didn't
get.
get the message until later.
Right.
Yeah. But obviously we do see a little of Kara's past, and I do think that's interesting, where they have the split off of Krypton, where they have the shield. A small community is able to survive the explosion of Krypton, but then they're all kind of slowly poisoned to death because there's kryptonite in the soil when they broke off or whatever, and so they still have to send Kara off with her little dog. And so that's her context of like, yeah, of course Superman it's easy to be like a great guy when you have a light heart because you haven't experienced like the traumas that I've gone through, but I've gone through a lot more than he has, and that's really colored my perspective on the world, and I just like that take on it, I guess.
So, like,
That-
this is the philosophy and kind of their worldviews is the most interesting stuff, and I think the movie is at its best when they're on screen together. Like that's the best points in this movie.
I liked when he showed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, and I would certainly say the comic book hits that angle as well. Tom King is hitting on this Kara Zor-El, who's in the same situation. She's drunk. We see the same thing. Bottle City of Argo, destruction
Hmm.
of Krypton and its survival, death of her people, what leads her to sort of feeling alone and all this stuff. Now, that comic book is drawing on years of history of readers who have seen Supergirl do thousands of feats over the year. Good, bad, all that stuff, feel alienated, all that weird stuff, be happy, have truly 1,000 different backstories. Great.
Mhm.
This Millie Alcock version, I agree with you. I love when she's with David Corn Sweat. Why does this film not have an actual scene of her not liking being Supergirl? Why is this movie a fucking surf Dracula, a term
Mhm.
we have to keep talking about in modern society, that literally it's a film called Supergirl that does not want her to be in the outfit, does not want her to be Supergirl, when it could so
Because
easily have a scene that just literally has her being uncomfortable with humans when they're saving something, instead of just weird 3 scenes that are shot in a closet of David Cornsweet being like, "You're a person now. We're people, you see, Kara."
Mhm.
I think it's the movie is about her journey into accepting her role as Supergirl. So at the beginning of the movie, she doesn't see herself as Supergirl.
She doesn't want to
Um,
be.
she doesn't want to put
Mm.
on the suit, right? So it's about her journey to put on the suit, accepting who she is. And I think that her relationship with Ruthie is sort of important in that development of, oh, I can like stand for something bigger. And so yeah, it is a surf Dracula, but it's her sort of growing into that
I have a
role throughout the
question
movie.
That
to
that
Yeah,
kind of
would, just real quick to counteract that, Mike.
yeah.
That would be fine
yeah.
if that was her attitude. If she was
Mm.
truly like, "I've never put that fucking thing on. I hate that thing. He wants me to be this hero. I don't do that stuff." But literally, she fights, she does karate, she says things like, "That's Lobo. We bumped into him before." And like all this
Yeah.
thing that James Gunn wants, where he's like, "It's new, it's fresh. We've had this, but I also need you to like buy in and think about a lot of stuff. But it's connected. But don't think about it as connected, because I need you guys to see this more than you saw
But
Superman, which also didn't make a lot of money."
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
like
good
it's
as it
this
yeah,
it's
was.
this absolute panic mode of having all of it blended together, which it's
I
always
think at
going
the
to
beginning
be
of the
with
movie,
this. Yeah.
right. Well, you have to, yeah, there's the context of like, we need this movie to do well for the future of the universe, which kind of sucks because it's like, what? I wish we could
Guess
just,
what? It's
evaluate it
not.
as a standalone.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think Lantern's going to really turn things around.
All right, all right.
Oh my
Well,
God,
so I
dog.
want to bring up something that kind of piggybacks
Yeah.
off Colin's point of
Yes.
like
Yeah.
we need to
Yeah.
see her not wanting to be Supergirl because yeah, if she's not wearing the suit, when does this take place? Because at the end of Superman, she shows up very much wearing the suit.
It is
She's
Supergirl.
drunk.
Well, she has the suit, but she's running away from that role that Clark is sort of giving her, and that's why she starts out. She's on a bender. She's in a red sun world where she's like, "Look, I don't even want my powers. I want to be in a red sun where I can be like a normal person, and just get
Right. No,
drunk or
what
whatever."
I'm saying is so we see her in the suit when she picks up her dog, and then she presumably says, "Fuck this." Show me the moment of her saying, "Fuck this." And why do you listen to music from
Mm.
Earth if you hate Earth so much? You know what I mean? Listen
Don't
to your
get
Yeah.
Krypton
into it, Mike.
iPod.
Those aliens singing Earth songs on that planet.
Yeah.
Don't you even get into me how any of that makes sense.
The only thing
She
I like
needs to
about
have an
Earth is
appreciation for
Blondie.
retro Earth culture
That's so-
because
I wonder
it's
who
very important
made
for a
that
James
to
Gunnian
create. Yeah.
That
protagonist.
feels out of
Yeah.
character for someone who doesn't like it feels like they don't connect with Earth.
I will agree with that. I will agree with that because obviously she grew up away from Earth. She comes to Earth as basically a young adult. She has no connection to Earth, so she's not. This movie wants her to be a female Peter Quill, and
Right.
in fact cast her in that role where it doesn't really fit her in the same way that Peter Quill, who was abducted from Earth as a child, and so that his
All he has.
Walkman represents the only connection to his past. Supergirl should have no connection to Earth, so she should be listening to some traditional
Like,
Kryptonian songs or something.
Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
nitpick like that crazy, but it's like when I'm getting set up in my pod and I've got my dog, like give me some books, Dad, give me some
So-
media, give me some cultural stuff from Krypton that I could
Right.
take with me, and she could show that to Clark. Like it's a good opportunity
But-
that's missed.
Mike, she has a Kryptonian stopwatch. You're being ridiculous.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Obviously,
That's
she has
right,
like
that's right.
Krypton. Now, just sorry, real quick again to nitpick the character of just feeling fast forwarded.
Yeah.
All that stuff with Kara is because her weird upbringing thing of Interstellar, like the movie Interstellar, where
Yeah.
she was a teenager when Clark
When
was
Clark
a
was a
baby.
baby. Yeah.
And because of time dilation that she gets
Right.
lost, she comes and she's younger than him, but always acts older and bossier. That's how the story
Yes.
has always been.
Ah, right.
Now, this film instead goes, she was born 8 years after him. There is a real age difference and it makes sense. She's Kryptonian, but she never experienced Krypton. She was born, on this weird little satellite planet. Everything's fine. And don't get into why she can't be radiated, even though we all can. We don't need you to ask questions about that. But instead, they want her to be the weird, bossy character who's like, Clark sees the good in everyone. I see the truth. When it's like, that's not your experience. You're not human. You're not older than him. You don't have like any more life experience than him because you've lived in a completely bubbled society while he has experienced things. Like they've taken the attitude but not the reason for any of it. And it makes no sense. And it's a tweak for the comic books, and it sounds like I'm being a nerd for critiquing that.
But
And
you
I
read the
think
comic
I'm
book.
not. Yes.
Yeah.
You're right, because I think I'm more familiar with. You're right. There have been some changes because I'm more familiar with her. She was basically a young teen or young adult when the explosion of Krypton happened in her original story. So, her original backstory. So I am more familiar with that version, and she experiences the explosion of Krypton, and they send her away as a young adult. So I don't know why they made certain
It
changes the way they did.
changes everything to be like,
Yeah.
my experiences, I remember our home world and you don't. That's why you adapt here. When really she doesn't remember the home world. She remembers this like shelter that was falling apart that's like
Yeah,
had
I
the
kind of forgot
culture
that
of the home world.
I forgot that they did that where it's like, oh, they send baby Superman away, and then it's like 8 years later, oh, now we're pregnant with Kara. And it's like, wait a minute, that's a little weird. So I don't know why they did it like
You
that
should
for
not
the
be
movie.
fucking in the apocalypse. Your world is over. You
They're
should
trying
not
to
be
continue
bringing babies into
their
this.
lineage.
Right.
Yeah, and I've heard that. So again, I haven't read the Tom King book, but I know that from people who have read it, who say if you read it, the movie is not as good because it's a pale imitation of the source material. So I can understand that argument where the Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is done better in the comic than in the movie.
I will just give my last critique on that front and just say that the comic book, and I apologize, I don't know her name. It is drawn by an Italian woman who does these essentially,
Bilquis Evely.
God bless, who does these sort of like watercolor colorings on top of it too. It is colorful. It is alive. It is medieval. It is very much inspired by Arthurian legend and lore. The sword looks exactly the same in this, but very much Excaliburian imagery. Creme of the Yellow Hills looks like a knight more than he looks like Mad Max himself, right? Craig Gillespie, straight up, I watched an interview on Facebook with him this morning that was like, and they asked me like to look at that, and I was like, I'm not going to look at that at all. I couldn't be less interested in that. In my mind, I want this film to be dirty. I want it to be on the poor fringes of society. I want all these planets to represent the lowest class. I want everything to be brown. And I brought my brown color palette to it. And you just go again like, oh, cool. So you didn't get any of the spirit of the comic book right at all. Like visually, this film is disgusting looking. And it all looks the same. She visits 4 planets and they all look fucking exactly the same.
Yes. I kind of felt that way.
I don't mind that though, because it's like they put the Guardians of the Galaxy / Mad Max filter over everything. And you've got all these different alien races and stuff. You're going into these bars, these hole in the wall bars with weird aliens in them.
Glupshadows all over.
Oh, Mike, Glupshadows aplenty. Here's James Gunn's big move, and I love James Gunn. But his big move after seeing Blade Runner as a teenager and jerking off is like, can you imagine seeing a neon sign glowing in the rain, but the language is an alien language? Dun dun dun.
Dun.
But
Yep.
unfortunately, I like that aesthetic. And that's
Guess
why I
what?
like the
I love
Guardians
it.
movies. And
It's great. It works
yeah.
for that series, dog.
Right, but I think obviously, it could work for this too.
They just got to put the right song to the fight scene, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's
Good
got
or it
all
does.
it's got all the James Gunn imitators. So it feels
She's
like
wearing a
it's
Blondie t-shirt.
Yeah,
it
and I
feels
hate
like
hers.
Craig Gillespie trying to make a James Gunn movie. So I agree, it's not as good as a James Gunn movie, because if James Gunn directed this movie, it would be one of his worst movies.
So technically, this gun still has not jammed because he didn't direct this. Is he still okay?
it's a pale imitation of James Gunn. You gotta understand, when I say I like it, again, I like it as a 3 to 3.5 star movie. It's not perfect. It's not the greatest movie ever, but it's better than a lot of superhero movies that we've had in the past. I'll just say that.
Defend
And so,
that. Saying what you like about it.
well, there's a lot of and I like the aesthetic. I think, I like the sort of cosmic, the outskirts of the cosmic world, all these, poor aliens and stuff. It's been done before, but I
You
like
like
it.
the bus. You like when they get robbed by Gem and the
Sure.
Harlem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you got again, like I said yesterday, they're making Seth Rogen, Babu Fricks now.
Yes.
Um,
Blown away
there's a
by
Seth
that
Rogen,
decision.
Babu Frick in this
Yep.
movie. That's like, okay, you just straight up copied Babu Frick, and then you got James Gunn or Seth Rogen to voice him for some reason.
I was like,
So I was like,
Alan
that's an
Alien.
interesting choice.
This
Yeah.
movie starts with a little house on the prairie and a spaceship lands, and a guy with a
Yeah.
ponytail says, "That's Krem from the Yellow Hills. He's probably here for all those swords I made." And the wife goes,
Yeah.
"You're probably right."
The
Yeah,
intro
yeah.
scene seems like they cut out some material. I was a little
Oh,
confused
you
by
think?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's not perfect. It's not perfect.
Oh, it's
no.
the
But I would say
brothers.
it's not a
This-
1-star movie to me.
This has Madam Web style characters' faces not being shown, saying their lines as quickly as they can, dog.
It feels like 20 minutes was cut out of it, which is like
And for a long movie, you're like, what were
Yeah.
those 20 minutes, dog?
It just
Right,
felt long.
but
Actually, it was like an hour and 48.
You know what Yo, for real. I really
Yeah.
liked that the whole thing kicks off because the brother is like, my sister's being so dumb. Watch how this prank's gonna go.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's what I understand. He like jumps out and scares
Funny.
his sister when Creme of the Yellow Hills
And he
is like
dies,
sitting
and
in
he
the
kind
kitchen.
of still has this silly smile on his face. And I was like,
Yeah.
you blew it, you moron.
Look, again, the first scene is giving me, again, it all goes back to my Firefly fandom. Back in the day, I loved this show called Firefly by a guy named Joss Whedon. We don't talk about it, but
No.
Firefly, Serenity, the movie, the space western. It's been done a lot, but again, I just like anything like that. I'm sort of naturally inclined to like. Yeah.
Do you think when Craig Gillespie came up to Matthias Schoenaerts, the actor who plays Creme of the Yellow Hills, and that when
Yeah.
Creme of the Yellow Hills came out with the little beads on his face and his long ponytail, and he was ready for the scene, he was like, this is your Christoph Waltz drinking milk moment. Like, people are about to fucking fall in love with Creme of the Yellow Hills.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you notice the pie, and you ask about it.
And then you
pie.
ask about the pie. It's exactly the same scene, Mike. It's
Yeah,
so fucking
yeah.
sad, dude.
The
That's
villain
exactly
isn't
what I
very
thought.
good because, yeah, he doesn't really.
Multiple
I never got
scenes in this movie involve characters drinking milk.
drinking milk.
And at one
Well,
point,
she
our
gets
heroine
poisoned and she-
explains why
Yeah.
she has to drink milk. She's like, it's
She was
actually good for your
poisoned.
throat.
You
It
got to
coats
coat
it.
your stomach when you
Yeah.
You
get
gotta
poisoned.
coat your stomach. I don't know if you know that. Milk's
But it's
good for you.
alien milk, Colin. It's milked from some kind of alien reptile. Okay, it's not regular
What's this
milk.
from? It's from the clava. points to the little guy in the corner who just does a shrug.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, man, this is a fucking Rick and Morty ass movie.
It
You know
very
what
much
it is?
kinda
It is a Rick and
yeah.
Morty ass movie. But you know what? Again, I like the space western. I like the dirty, used space future.
Yeah.
And again, you got Superman at home being the big blue Boy Scout, and then you got, Kara just doing her own thing, getting drunk, trying to forget her life,
Getting
and she's
fucking
sort of forced
railed by
into
fucking
this.
space guys. You know it. You know she's up there just getting railed.
Yeah, but she's forced into this adventure through this girl and what she goes through, and again, true grit.
Mhm.
But I love true grit and the dynamic there. And then of course her dog gets shot, and she's got to get the antidote for the poison. Her dog gets shot by a poison dart from Creme of the Yellow Hills, and so it becomes a John Wicky and I need to get revenge for you shooting my dog.
Mhm.
She gets shot by those darts about 100 fucking times, and all she has to do is fly up to the sun. Why did they not just take Crypto up to a yellow sun? What is
Well, those
the
are
difference?
different darts because he shoots her with the kryptonite
Kryptonite
darts that he has never used
Oh,
before. So
the
he shoots the
bruise.
dog with his regular poison that slowly paralyzes you, and the only thing
Well,
you can
don't
do is
even
take
make
the
any for
antidote.
Crypto. Just shoot the normal kind at her.
Don't bring the antidote.
Well, I think because
Yeah.
she is
Fuck
too
the
strong under
dog
the yellow
up.
strong that it doesn't work on her. Because that's why they do try to poison her with the same poison, but it only kind of halfway works because of the yellow sun, she's stronger, and that's when she drinks the milk, tries to throw it up. Yeah.
I actually
It's airtight.
feel much better. That's when she gets punched in the stomach and pukes. Again,
Yeah.
Oh, I
I got
forgot
no
how
beef
that
with
was so
Kara.
featured. No.
Yeah,
I
I
thought she
love
was
Kara.
great. Again, it's a mid, superhero movie. Like, again,
Yeah,
by the numbers to
low.
a certain
Yeah,
degree.
low, mid, rock bottom, low. Yeah, no, we
It's not
agree,
rock
Jacob.
bottom for me though.
Yeah, we
Like,
all agree.
you watch
No,
Wonder
it's just
Woman 1984 and tell me that this is a worse movie than that. I don't think so. Not in my world. Not in the
fair.
world I'm living in.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
elements of the aesthetic. Like, yeah, I like a space western. I like a dingy cantina scene, but like I said, they do it 3 times. Like, it's like, and at first when I was watching this, I'm like, yo, there's a lot of freakazoids in this. I kind of like the amount of practical effect freakazoids that they're making, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day, none of them feel like memorable. I don't know what it is. Like the designs of them were like, I don't know, they just didn't have a good silhouette. Like
We
all
had
those,
Lobo.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like they
We're
had
He calls the guy
background
we're not we're
Squidward
freakazoids.
at
not
one
talking
point.
we're not talking about
Squidward.
Lobo
She
yet.
hates Earth, but loves the
We're
cartoons.
we're saving
Hey,
Lobo.
Squidward.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And then of course the color of the sun that she's under is very important, and that's a big part of the movie. If you're under a red sun, she's gonna be like a normal human. She's under a yellow sun, she has her super abilities. She's under a green sun,
I
she's not doing too good, you know?
Mm-mm.
and there's something where I trusted James Gunn so fucking much with Superman, where all those other movies people were like, Superman's boring. Superman's boring. How do you make a movie out of Superman? I was like, no, just
I was
James
one of those
Gunn
people.
knows comic book characters. He knows how to set them up against stakes at work. And he made that movie. You never felt like he, was being nerfed unintentionally, even when Metamorpho was, making kryptonite with his fucking fingertips and dumb shit. He
Mm-hmm.
was punching kaijus and they hurt just as much, or he was fighting clones himself. Like it all made sense. This movie, the whole time I didn't trust when she wasn't powered. Like the whole time I just kept being like, yeah, but she's gonna get her fucking powers back. So fucking what? Why are you even making me deal with this fucking shit?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now you can say, James Gunn, one criticism of him, putting him in charge of everything, it's just like, just make a fucking Batman movie, make a Wonder Woman movie. Like he's so
Why?
obsessed with taking these obscure characters. Like we're gonna have a Peacemaker show, we're gonna have a Clayface movie, we're gonna have all these different. And I understand that he likes these obscure characters and kind of bringing them into prominence, like he did in Suicide Squad, like he did with Peacemaker, and even the Superman movie has some random characters like Mr. Terrific and stuff. And it's like, but can you just like make the core DC characters like kind of establish
No,
your
no, no.
universe first?
Dude,
Yeah.
Jacob, nail on the head here. Because ultimately, All my complaints, literally the dumb one that I just did of like, I liked it in the Superman movie, but in this one I didn't, all comes back to why this isn't the Superman extended universe. Why are you making Supergirl the second movie after Superman? I'm
Yeah.
seeing the same things. Make it different. And to what you just said, Superman, a film where he goes, hey, let's put a Green Lantern in here. Let's put Hawkgirl in here. Let's put Mr. Terrific in here. Let's make sure it's got a shit ton of weird sci-fi, conceits that you've never seen in one of these. Boom, that's a superhero movie. They don't even do that shit in this. They give you Lobo, and even that, they're like, look, this is a contract thing, basically. Like, this is to make sure we don't have to pay Jason X amount because we canceled, Aquaman 3, basically. Otherwise, you would have put at least 2 more fucking characters in this movie to make some people excited. But it feels like he gave all of his budget to his movie. And when the second one comes around, he's like, yeah, guys, I don't know. Like, you got to work a little harder to get people here. Come on. It's like,
That's
well,
why
you
I don't
didn't do that with
understand
your
the,
movie. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. The way that they're planning out the early stages of this universe, it's like, yeah, why is Supergirl the second movie? Why are you making a Clayface movie who's a Batman villain before a Batman movie? Now, I understand there's a complicated situation with Batman because you have the Batman, you have Robert Pattinson, you have they're making the Batman 2, but it's been fucking forever. For some reason, that's taking a million years to
It's not
write and
complicated.
make.
It's not
Yeah.
complicated. It's complicated because no one will make a decision about it. It is only made more complicated by the fact that James Gunn is like, yeah, it can continue, and we're gonna do our own thing. And I hear people saying I should combine them, and my thought on that is
No.
we'll
Well,
see. And it's like, dog, like,
I can tell
give
you what the
us a
problem is
fucking
there.
answer here.
The problem is there is that they know that the Batman universe is popular, but they don't want they don't want to end that, but he also doesn't want to make that his Batman. Like
He
he wants
also
to make the
hates
brave and the bold,
Yes.
and it doesn't fit his vision for the DCU. So they have, but they have like an Elseworlds. It's like that's an Elseworlds thing versus a Prime DCU thing. They could do that, but then they don't want to have 2 cinematic Batmans at the same time because that would be too confusing for normie audiences.
There's so many issues. Like, it's like, dog, we're pointing out all these issues. It's like, imagine what James Gunn goes through when he's sitting there and they're like, knock, knock. The new bosses say they need to meet with you because, we've sold our company for X billions of dollars. And he's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like,
but
just
I also
push this meeting.
Yeah, there's also the merger with Paramount. I think the Batman thing has also been just being complicated by Matt Reeves taking fucking forever to make the Batman Part 2. Like it's been so long. And it's like, yes, it's coming. I know he's maybe going through some personal stuff or whatever.
He admitted a health thing recently, but he hasn't said what it is. I don't know what is going on, dog. But it is like, shooting now. It's so confusing.
But it's almost like James Gunn wanted to wait for the Batman Part 2 to come out so they could wrap that up before doing the Brave and the Bold, which will be their Batman, which will be a different Batman in the DCU. And it's just become very complicated. And who knows if we'll even ever get the Brave and the Bold at this point.
We won't. We won't.
The best thing
we
to
have
do at this
Clayface
point,
coming out.
That is going to do dog shit numbers. I'm calling it now. Clayface is for nobody. It is for
Mike,
nobody.
It's going to do obsession numbers.
What's the only thing that's making money right now? Horror movies.
It will not be a superhero villain horror movie. Will not do good.
We'll see.
They will pull some Hail Mary, Mike, where they'll be like, "Did you hear? Kane Parsons rewrote a scene, and
man,
Curtis Parker, reshot the ending, so you have to see." And people, will
what
be
they'll
like,
do is they'll like slap the Batman trailer in front of it to sell tickets.
Yes,
that
seriously,
kind of move.
Honestly,
I think Clayface will do better than you might expect, and.
I hope
Look,
for your
don't be
sake.
so negative on
it. It won't.
You know who wrote that movie? Mike Flanagan. Okay, our favorite, our guy.
He is quoted as saying, "I have written a version of that movie." Is how he says it. So yes, tout that, Jacob.
Man.
Look, now I'm a little confused because I'm pretty sure Clayface was in Creature Commandos. Whether that's the same Clayface, I don't know.
Oh God, it just gets better and better.
It's going to be interesting. I think it'll be an interesting look.
And Frank Grillo's like, and stop asking me about my silver hair.
Yeah. Look, I wanted to dye my hair. Okay. No, you don't think Lanterns is going to be good on fucking
Dog,
HBO?
it's gonna
Oh
be
my gosh.
dog shit.
We got Lanterns. We got Clayface. I'm very positive about the future. Okay.
Yes.
I'm
Um,
glad.
look, regardless of how much money it makes, now you can say, well, James Gunn has pretty much only made movies that have underperformed at the box office. And I would say, look, maybe you're right, but I don't care because I'm
That-
not the one that's bankrolling them. Now, again, the merger with Paramount, all the things going on with Warner Brothers being for sale and everything, that might have an effect on the DCU. So who
What do
knows what's going to happen?
fascists like? Do fascists want DC characters? Like, I don't like what does Paramount even want about any of this? That's what I don't
Tough-
understand. To
tough
me,
on crime
Barry
Batman.
Elson's gonna be like, but I feel like he's gonna be like, who's Batman? Like, I feel like he doesn't even like know who Batman is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, so the MCU, the thing is, like, okay, when you have a connected universe and it has the feeling of like, oh, this could end at any time if a movie doesn't do as well as we want it to, then you have that anticipation hanging over you the whole time of like, well, we're probably going to get axed at some point. It's like the MCU doesn't have that because they've been established for so long, so they can put out like straight garbage for years, and they don't have any worry about the future of the universe just being rebooted.
I have a theory, and I
Yeah,
want your guys' opinion if you think Secret Wars will make money and if Avengers and all
I'm
that
worried for
bullshit will
Spider-Man
make
at this
money.
point now with the way that
Yeah.
movies have been losing
Mike,
money.
Mike,
You know,
Mike has already made his claim on the disaster that
Yes.
is going to be Spider-Man.
really? What did
But
you say about that?
Calamitous. Not gonna be good. It's not gonna be a brand new day.
no, dog,
Mm.
it's gonna be dog shit. But is this it, Jacob? Is this the end of the shared universe? Are we done with this nonsense? And are we heading towards something where Paramount literally goes in a repeat of a new version of an old classic where they go, hey, anybody want to buy this DC catalog? Hey, Disney, we got a Superman for sale, or
Wow.
we got a Batman for sale to the highest
Well,
bidder.
Disney buying it would be fucking insane because then you'd have literally Disney would own Marvel and DC and Star Wars, and it'd just be like a monopoly on
Call the
all
lawyers.
popular
But
franchises.
let's say it's not even them. Let's say they open up the book and sell off the catalog like Universal owning the Hulk as they still do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are we headed towards a future where Paramount's like, look, people don't get these things right. It's not a market where these things are working. So why would we take on the risk? Let's just sell it off to
I don't-
somebody else.
I don't know how
Hmm.
Warner Brothers fucked this up so badly, where it's like Batman movies make money. Like you can always fall back on like Batman, Superman. Like people know these characters, and
I'm going to be this guy. You want to
Yeah.
shoehorn a fucking character into this thing? Put any Batman character in this. It could be fucking
Yeah.
Batgirl as her friend visiting planets, and guess what?
Right.
People are going to see this movie.
right.
Yeah.
And now, of course, I don't know. Like Warner Brothers made so many mistakes. Again, David Zaslav made himself a lot of money, I guess, but basically tanked one of the most historic s- Hollywood studios of all time, Warner Brothers, who's been around forever. Now they're getting sold to Paramount. Like it's a fucking joke. And like,
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter and DC, where they're two big IPs that they've like both fucked up royally with. The Fantastic Beasts movies were terrible,
Oh,
and now they
God,
have
yeah.
this HBO show that they're like betting everything on for Harry Potter. And then DC, how do you fuck up DC? Like you had the
And-
Christopher Nolan Batman movies, like you have all this great history of like different movies and stuff. Like how are you losing this battle right now?
And Jacob, their big thing is they're like, wait, we've got it. An Aegon the Conqueror film series. You're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Right.
what?
We're going
Yeah.
all in with Game of Thrones. Like Knights of the Seven Kingdoms was a big hit. Now you got Hot D coming out. But it's like, yeah, like I like Warner Brothers properties. Like I don't know how they mismanaged their IP so badly, and now they're being sold like this. It's just a disgrace to me.
I also want to
Yeah.
say I saw somebody just on that note where I just made that Game of Thrones joke. I saw somebody say that they're pressuring HBO into only doing IP shows and they should be ashamed of House of the D and shit. I just want to shout out Mike. You watched fucking Rooster and that How to Have Sex in DTF or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck that
DTF
show is
St.
called.
Louis. Yeah.
And you liked both, and
I
those
like
were
both of
both
those a
original
lot.
shows this year. So
Yeah.
so fucking eat shit, people. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, they've got
watched a
True
lot of
Detective,
Go.
Succession. HBO is still strong, but it just feels like it all dates back to David Zaslav, and then
It's gonna
combining
be fixed.
Discovery and HBO and putting all this lowest common denominator shit
It's
on
gonna
HBO.
be
And
fixed, Jacob, by
Yeah.
combining both these things when HBO does their original series Lanterns and figures this
True
all out.
Lanterns will be great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Lanterns. I'm excited for Clayface. These are going to be hit properties. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about Lobo. Let's talk
Mhm.
about Jason Momoa, because she's in this thing. She meets Ruthie. Ruthie's father dies, and she goes on this quest where literally she just goes to bars and says, "Can I hire you to kill somebody?" And Supergirl sees this and is like, "That's kind of fucked up." And they pair up with each other
Rooster Cogburn
begrudgingly,
Mhm.
yes,
style.
Rooster Cogburn style,
True
but
grit.
very much that she doesn't want to be. And she stops Ruthie when she notices an even stronger "quote unquote" bounty hunter in the form of this guy Lobo,
Lobo.
who keeps saying instead of Creme of the
I'm
Yellow
Lobo.
Hills, he's looking for
A
Rhombus
different guy.
Bombastin. Is that what he
Yeah.
keeps saying? I'm looking
I
for
don't know.
Rhombus Bombastin, the second
So-
in command of the Grifters.
The Brigands. There's a group
Brigands.
of
The Brigands.
guys called the Brigands, and their overall plot is they're abducting women and girls to create this all male society. It's very Mad Max, where they're like using these women as like breeders or whatever, right?
Right.
And again, Furiosa, trying to smuggle the women out.
The
and
brides from
everything.
Immortan Joe. Yes, it's
The
Mad Max.
brides.
And these guys look
Yes,
very
he's
Mad
Immortan
Max
Joe.
in space.
Yeah.
He's-
And so Lobo is a bounty hunter. There's a bounty on, like you said, the second in command of this group, I guess.
But not
his
the main
head. So
guy.
he's sort of an agent of chaos in this all.
Why introduce our badass loner and he's not even after the most important guy? Why make it like, if anything, the joke should be that they're like, is his bounty bigger than the leader? And Lobo should be like, he's not the leader. Oh, I should go after that guy and get more.
Well, some rich
money.
people
Yeah.
want this other guy for some reason. It's not really clear.
Fuck,
Now you could say this movie, would it be different at all if Lobo wasn't in it? Like, does he add anything to the movie? Maybe not. He's basically there to just be like, there's the one jail scene when Ruthie breaks out and he's like, "Oh, I like this girl. She's got a lot of grit, true
She
grit."
likes
you
doing
might
violence.
say.
True
That's
grit.
not that's I argue. I love this. I'm so happy for all this. I argue with your impression a little bit, Jacob, and I don't have it on my tongue or in my head, but only because you have to understand that Jason Momoa believes that what he is doing in this movie is acting. Like, you can see in his eyes that he's like, I'm actually not giving them the flavor of Jason that they're all used to, because instead I kind of do a little bit more of a theatrical thing. And it's horrible. It is horrible, dog.
But
He
on
is not
paper, he
good as this
fits the
character.
character of Lobo.
All
Before I saw this, I was
anyone
like, yeah, I
has
can
ever
see
said.
that. Uh-huh.
When he was cast, because you have to remember,
Yeah.
the crazy thing about Dawn of Justice was, before we knew that it was the Batman thing, but then nobody knew the Justice League stuff yet. So then
Yeah.
Zack Snyder was like, Gal Gadot's in it, Jason Momoa's in it, and none of us knew who those characters were. So we're like, what? Who's everybody playing? And with Jason Momoa, everybody was like, absolutely
Lobo.
makes sense. He's in a Superman movie. Obviously, he is being cast as Lobo.
I would
And
argue that his
Yeah.
Aquaman is not like any Aquaman. Like, he totally did a different take on Aquaman that's ever been seen.
Yeah.
The normal Aquaman is not like his Aquaman at all. He's like a blonde,
No.
straight-laced kind of guy.
Yeah.
So he does a totally different take on Aquaman that's different than anything we've ever seen. And now he's getting cast in the role that on paper he should have been cast in originally, Lobo, because he fits that role better. And it's just
He
like,
is.
it doesn't really work.
He is so bad in this movie. He looks horrible. It looks like a Spirit Halloween costume. It looks like they only had like a little bit of time. They kind of are like, well, we've got the hair kind of flat and long. Is that what Lobo's looks like? And it's like, who cares? Now, I already said off pod how much input he had and how that was a big red flag for me when he would say things like, I didn't really know the character until I realized he should have claws. Where you're like,
Oh
okay,
God, yeah.
okay, Jason, you don't need to be having input with things like that. Or when he
Sure.
said, like, there was a lot of discussion about the length of the chain that I should be wearing. And
Yeah.
I just knew that we had to go bigger and bigger. And it's like, Jason, listen,
Jason?
I need you to focus on other things than these decisions. Obviously, an actor should have an input on the look, the aesthetic, everything they go for. I'm not critiquing him for that. I'm just saying, based on this performance, he should have put his energy somewhere else.
I wonder
Mm.
if he got
mean,
confused
Lobo-
with Blanca
Yeah.
and Lobo, and he's like, claws? And he claws somehow.
I also did see him do an interview where he talked about every beverage that every character he plays, and he said Lobo is a shot of whiskey and Blanca is a Guinness beer. Do with that what you will, Mike.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
The thing is, Lobo as a character, not that interesting in the first place. Like he's an intergalactic bounty hunter who rides on a motorcycle and smokes cigars. He's like amoral. He doesn't have any morals, but he doesn't, again, like in this movie, he doesn't kill for sport. He kills for money. He's just a bounty hunter, right? So it's not that interesting. He's sort of a chaotic neutral character who sometimes does bad stuff, but isn't always a straight up villain because he always has his own motives, usually.
So when Lobo was introduced in the comic books, he's kind of mainly a parody of the Punisher and kind of Deadpool, but not in the aesthetic of any of them, but in that they were part of an imprint of Marvel called Max, Punisher
Yeah.
Max. What that meant was,
Or even
boom,
like Ghost
violence.
Rider. Aesthetically,
Exactly.
he's very Ghost Rider. right?
Absolutely,
Riding a
Jacob,
motorcycle.
absolutely.
Very
So
like kind of
Lobo,
trying to be a cool guy.
but he would always be like, the comics would be like Lobo Max and like directly making fun of things. He on the cover would say, and those other guys think they're Max, fuck them, get ready to see this. Like he would call things out like Deadpool.
Mm.
Now, he was not like funny or like a fourth wall breaking character. Again, it was like alien tits, all this weird shit. When we were kids growing up, you had the animated series where it was Brad Garrett, the weird tall brother from Everybody Loves Raymond with his weird deep voice. And he would just do Macho Man Randy Savage. And he would do like the main man. The main man says, you're doing this tonight, Soups, because we're doing. And as a kid, I was like, that's great. That makes sense. He's just a weird space biker wrestler. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fair.
And that's, I guess that's what he is in this movie. I like his first appearance when in the bar, and then he's like, you all have been totally useless, and kind of walks out and he's like, happy birthday, because she's pretending it's like her birthday.
Jacob, I
Oh, Valley
like
Girl.
that he says happy birthday. Yeah. Hey, Valley Girl.
Yeah.
See, that's what I've been calling you.
Oh yeah.
But again, his purpose in the story, it's just like, why is he in the movie? Like, he doesn't add anything. He kind of shows up
for Derek Bombarian. You're being ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's looking for this guy, but he's not. He's a chaotic neutral. He's not helping Supergirl, but he's also not a villain to Supergirl. He's just kind of there and doing his own thing, and does not. You could take him out of the movie completely, and the movie basically would not change.
Yeah, he never any point allies with our heroes for the common goal of I want to get that guy for the money. Like obviously that's basic, but like they could have done that, but without doing that hook, he's just on the peripheral of this other movie that I'm watching. He really has nothing
You think
to
they're
do with
gonna
it.
like team up, but then they don't even really do that. He kind of just rides his motorcycle around and like blows stuff up. For a
And
little
you
bit,
expect
but it doesn't
him
really...
even in the final battle to like come back when he sees him, but he's just like hell yeah, and just rides away. Like he doesn't join the fray.
He watches, at the
He
end, he
watches.
watches Supergirl kill Krem, and then he's like, hell yeah, brother.
Sick.
All right, I gotta go.
All right. if you guys recall, I still haven't killed the Fast and Furious crew, so I have to get back to them to see if I ever resolve that.
Yes.
Oh,
The movie
wow.
ends with a cliffhanger of
Oh
everyone
wow.
blowing up.
that guy was Lobo the whole time in those movies. We didn't know it, but he was Lobo.
On
Right.
a planet where
He has
the whole culture
his
was around race
abs are
cars.
fake in this.
He loved
his
it.
whole space culture.
Oh yeah,
His
yeah.
look
Yeah.
is
Abs are fake.
bad. The makeup is bad. He has fake abs. His muscles aren't big. He's not giving you the full Jason Momoa in this. His fighting style is basically like shake the camera as much as you can, and I'll kind of like push a guy.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
gut hook looks like a cosplay prop. Like it's something not right about it proportionally. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't love his look. Yeah. Again, it's sort of this 90s bad boy biker kind of aesthetic, but it's just too on the nose for Jason Momoa, I think, and that's why it doesn't really work
Yeah,
for me.
even when I was a kid and I would see Lobo, like I never read any of the books or saw the cartoons, but I just always thought like this guy's trying too hard. Like this guy doesn't seem like he's actually cool to me. It like felt like
No.
performative and lame even when I was a kid. I was like, I don't like this
Now,
Lobo guy.
Yeah, and I usually don't like when he shows up in like other Superman properties and stuff.
Well, and even then, you like it because it's the fucking Tango and Cash, dirty guy, clean guy aesthetic. It's the square
Right.
Superman being like, Lobo, you can't swear in front of these girls. What are you doing? And him being like, these Sizracs say, bleep blorp, come on, Red, let's go fuck somebody, right? Well, when it's like him and drunk Supergirl, you're like, yeah, they're the same. Like, this isn't
Right.
fun
There's
or
a
anything.
contrast.
And he's not in the original comic book. So this is truly
Right.
them just being like, hey, Lobo's a name people know. Should we put Lobo in this thing or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when James Gunn took over, he was like, "Well, Jason Momoa, we're not going to bring him back as Aquaman, but we might have another part in mind for
We're
him."
sundown on you, buddy.
Yeah, imagine this
Yeah.
Lobo
That's all
talking
it
to
is.
Robert Pattinson's Batman, like in the same scene. That would never work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lobo not the best part of this movie. And again, you could totally take him out and the movie would be fine, but he's the only connection, I guess, to a broader DCU that is like, oh, maybe he could show up in
Yeah.
other things eventually.
Yep.
Other than
Because-
David
Alright.
Corny Sweat
Corny
showing
Sweat.
up a couple times.
So
Mhm.
keep going with stuff you like.
So, they go on this adventure where Kara needs to get the antidote for her dog who's been poisoned, and Ruthie wants to get revenge for Krem killing her family. So it's a very sort of typical revenge. And it's the dynamic where you have the older but sort of irresponsible Kara who's doesn't want to sort of face reality. Then you have the young Ruthie who's very serious and very like Maddie Ross and True Grit, kind of taking charge and be like, look, you have to be a responsible person. Like she's like basically tells him like you're rude, but like you're a good person. You have to like understand that. And so again, I like that dynamic. Yeah.
I think True Grit works because it is anchored from Maddie's point of view. I think since she is the grounding character and the story is about her and it unfolding to her, great. We see everything from her point of view. We get her story. We understand her as a character. This is a story from Supergirl's point of view.
Mm.
Well, again, in the comic, it is from Ruthie's point of view, right?
It is.
Uh-huh.
It
So that's
absolutely-
like that's how they maybe should have done the movie, where it's like,
Yeah.
and I guess it is sort of because we see her in the first scene, and so that the first thing we see is a flashback of her family being killed. But then we sort of jump into the present with Supergirl and start following from her point of view. It might have been more interesting to follow Ruthie the whole time, to meeting Kara. Kara's kind of in the middle of this bender, and always seeing it from Ruthie's point of view would have been a more interesting way to
Yeah.
make the movie. I agree.
Yeah, it
with
hurts the character of Ruthie,
And like
who,
by
in
the
my
Yeah.
opinion, just does not give that strong of a performance in this.
It's not like going on, but
Kinda
yeah, like
whatnot.
True Grit, like Rooster is never like a badass until the end. Like she's dragging him through this like kind of journey.
Yeah.
He warms up, but until the final kind of showdown. But Kara's beating the shit out of people the whole movie. Like she doesn't have that like I still don't got it
Yeah.
yet kind of energy.
Well, it's like
she
she's on a red sun planet, and she's getting into fights, so she's not super powered, but she's still sort of
She's still winning them.
okay at fighting. Yeah, she can just kind of drunkenly fight people as a normal person.
She's still fearless, which comes from her PTSD and her alcohol.
Yeah.
dependency.
But I like when she's like, when she like first fights the guy, because like Ruthie comes in with her sword and is like, I'll hire someone to help me like kill Krem or whatever, and some alien like steals your sword and is like gonna leave with it or whatever, and that's when
Yeah, I'm
Kara
just gonna take the
intervenes.
sword. The sword is
Yeah.
payment. He's like, fuck that, I'll just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kara is like wants to stay out of it first, but then she's like, hey, look, just give her a sword back or whatever. Gets in a fight with this alien, and I like the moment when she's kind of getting beat up and she's laughing about like she's like bleeding and she's laughing because she's bleeding. She's like, this is like a new experience because she's
shit.
used to being super powered and stuff. So I like that angle of like, oh, I'm like mortal now, and like that's funny to me. Like I'm can actually take damage and stuff.
She is able to defeat
Did you
the
like
Predator.
when she?
Yeah.
Did you like when she went to the 7-Eleven and ate that thing shit?
I like that line. These taste like
It's like,
shit.
this tastes terrible.
It's
Yeah.
like,
I like
Yeah,
that.
I like little
thought that was
details
silly.
like that. Yeah. Better than Seth Rogen, Babu Frick.
Yeah.
much better.
But yeah, they're on a bus. They get attacked by some tech raiders,
Gem and holograms.
Gem and the holograms. And the problem there is that they're still a little bit too far away from a yellow sun for her to get her power. So she's trying to get closer to the yellow sun. And they even do a sort of a Guardians of the Galaxy scene where she's like out in space and like without a helmet. But then the yellow sun comes up, so she gets powered up and then kicks some butt.
When she defeats them and they have the conversation and the raiders say in their native tongue, give them Krem, what do we care? He's so strong and mighty or whatever that like he'll destroy this girl or whatever. The little bit of stuff where it's clearly like these women have also been abused by these like roving gangs of like super misogynistic weirdos. Like you can feel like there was something there in the script for a second. It's not like in this final version, like it jumps past this scene too quickly, but you feel like there was. Yes, that's a great way to put it, Mike.
Yeah. And again, I like when she's interrogating Gem and the hologram. She's using her laser vision in a threatening way and doing
I'll laser
a
every
little
one of
bit
you.
darker than Superman. Like Superman would not
Kara's
do that.
really good at lasers. She can shoot it where it's like her whole body. Like she shoots huge fucking lasers.
Dude.
She is not messing around.
Scott Summers.
She's more leaning on the Homelander scale of things than
Superman.
Dude.
Yeah.
And then they go to this planet where I guess Krem is coming and taking all the girls to be their like sex slaves or whatever, and they stay with like some locals there. And I kind of like that stuff with the locals where they're, again, it's not the most original thing in the world, but they sort of double cross her because they want their daughter. They bargain to get their daughter back by giving up Kara and Ruthie and all that.
2 for 1.
I saw this article that was like, and of course, the obvious metaphor that the brigands have their own Epstein Island and that they've taken these sort of natives, hostage. And of course, Epstein himself did have locals working, that what could they do except feed the beast? And what would they say? It's like Little St. James was not a populated island. There were no natives to I want that to be clear. This is not a one-to-one.
I think they were more like they were trafficking girls from America.
That's unfortunately exactly what it was. Trafficking them from the world, unfortunately. Yes, everywhere, from every avenue.
I think it's your typical fascist, chauvinist cult of males, like in Mad Max with Morton Joe, kind of taking the women and making them breeding wives and whatever and keeping them locked up. And so again, it's taking inspiration from a lot of better movies like Mad Max and True Grit and John Wick and stuff, like, which are all better movies in this movie.
It also takes forever. This whole scene where they keep saying they're waiting for the guy to go get his friend who knows the brigands, and it is intentionally long and is supposed to be. And then we see the whole Kara flashback, and then it cuts back, and she still says to Ruthie how long it's taking. And Ruthie's like, yeah, it is taking a while. And she goes downstairs to the table and she goes, it's taking a while, isn't it? They go, it is taking a while. Should we talk? And they go, it is. Then they do the whole poison scene. Yeah. Then they still keep going. Then fucking Krem from the Yellow Hills appears, dude. It is the longest scene in history, my guy.
And
That's
I
fair.
would've-
That's fair.
I
I
would have
mean,
never drank that tea. I saw it coming a mile away. I'm like, don't drink that tea, Colin.
yeah.
Like,
This is a
I'm
setup.
like, in what world are you drinking something somebody's given you? But yes,
But
who
maybe just
cares?
because she has bad judgment because she's not used
Fair.
to like
Good person.
being a hero yet or whatever.
Be good, not nice,
Yeah.
not
Hmm.
super.
You're
Be
rude
good,
but kind. Yeah.
Be rude but kind, Kara.
And I think there's some good lines like when the flashback of like I like the flashback of her
That's-
landing on Earth, meeting Clark, and I
Mhm.
like Clark giving her the suit and saying, "I know it's like kind of brightly colored, but that's just so people know that we're good." And again, that's a
Yeah.
very Clark line. I like that shit. So I
There's
liked
a lot-
whenever Clark was on screen. Yeah.
Once again, David Cornsweet has no misses in this. When he
Yeah.
says later, like, "You're staying for a while," and he's like, "So the dog's staying
Love
for a
the
while."
ending.
He kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like nods to himself. It's
Where's
so
he gonna
good.
stay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so where's he sleeping? Yeah.
There's a lot more to Earth than just this place. And it's just like the Arctic Circle. He's like, don't worry.
Yeah.
There's like way more than
You know, it was hard. It was hard
You
when
don't
I
understand
moved
anything I'm
to the
saying.
big city.
Why am I still talking?
Kansas? Do you know Kansas?
yeah.
Yeah.
He was crushing it.
But there's the funny dichotomy of like he doesn't know Kryptonian, she doesn't know English. They're trying to communicate, and then of course Earth is not her home in the same way that it is Clark's. He wants it to be. He's like, you could have a life here if you get to know it a little better. She's resistant, and she's like, I don't. He's like, you got to be with your people. She's like, that's the thing, Clark. I don't have people. And so again, I like that dynamic. I wish that was
Yeah.
explored even more. And I know that also that she's going to be a big part of Man of Tomorrow. The
Is
next
she?
That's what James Gunn has said. Like she's going to be a big character
Wow.
in it. So
Okay.
Well,
maybe
maybe
we'll see.
that's
And
why we didn't
I like
get
the
any of
ending, which
that.
is like, maybe I'll stick around, a while this time on Earth.
I think if we had seen her with people, we would have liked her a lot more. Or this movie would have, more people would have shown up to this movie if they had been excited about this character. I think the 2 seconds at the end of Superman was not enough, unfortunately.
It's possible. I
Hmm.
think I think just bad word of the mouth did not help this movie. But you could argue that even if this movie was the best superhero movie ever made, I still don't think it would have done well financially because it's just that's just the environment right now for this kind of movie. I mean, so this opened to 38 million opening weekend, not very good. Pretty much exactly the same as Masters of the Universe opening weekend.
Mhm.
And still better than Mortal Kombat 2, which made like 28 million. So like all these
Costs
movies are
less, though.
bombing.
But
Yeah, that's probably true. So
Huh.
yeah, Spider-Man, I would be worried. I mean, I'm optimistic about the MCU. Like I think the Avengers still has the name draw, and I think with the X-Men characters, people are going to still go see Doomsday. Now, if Doomsday is bad and like it's critically hated, I think that could be. I think still people will go see it, but after that, it's like the MCU's kind
Sign
of
of the
in
end.
trouble.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man's kind of bulletproof in that Zendaya is very good at publicity, and she has this whole
Mm.
relationship tied up to the guy who makes Spider-Man, and that helps that movie out a ton. I don't
I think
know.
what's interesting about Spider-Man to me is that it's not John Watts this time. It's Destin Daniel Cretton, and everything has been like the way we're shooting this movie is just completely different. Like, we're doing, basically Tom Holland was in the Odyssey. He's like, man, the way Christopher Nolan makes his movies, like, why don't we make Spider-Man like that? Like real
Yes,
movies.
You guys know about this? You're supposed to shoot movies outside.
Yeah, right.
So
Amy Pascal shot lasers at him, or eyes at him. She tried to fucking Supergirl him.
Yeah. So I think this could be the best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't know if it'll happen, but obviously, this is his fourth Spider-Man movie. Tobey Maguire only got 3. Andrew Garfield got 2. So he's already lasted longer as Spider-Man than these other guys. And yeah, I think Spider-Man's bulletproof financially to a certain point. So I think this Spider-Man, people will go see it. And hopefully it's good.
everything's front loaded. It could have a huge drop off. Toy Story,
Yeah.
we could right now. It could be experiencing a huge drop off. I don't know. I got that fucking Leica Wildwoods trailer for this film as well. There's no way
Mm.
people go to that.
No
I
way.
mean, there's no chance.
No, but it's these anything Pixar or obviously like Super Mario Galaxy are huge hits because they're the family friendly. So like probably the Super Mario and Toy Story are going to be like the two biggest best selling movies of the year by the end of the year.
And your best friend Michael Jackson, Jacob. You said the third.
Yeah,
Michael
category,
Jackson,
very good friend film about Michael Jackson.
which he was Michael is now the highest grossing biopic of all time, surpassing Oppenheimer, which previously held the record, which was interesting. That's sort
Didn't
of an
hit a billion.
outlier, I think.
Got close. 980 million or something.
Yeah, 980.
Like that, right?
Close. 977. Wow.
To me, that's just an outlier because it's Michael Jackson and like people wanted to, and there's a lot of people that like Michael Jackson out there and they wanted to go see the movie. But we've seen
What do they
other
like?
music biopics that didn't do that well, obviously like the Bob Dylan one and the Bruce Springsteen and all these different ones.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But Supergirl,
There's a point in
Great
this in
movie.
which Supergirl gets sick on the Green Sun planet, and then
yes.
girl's got to take care of her, and I'm like, oh no, it's the Mandalorian and Grogu again.
That's her
We're doing the plot
Mandalorian and
point
Grogu
again.
moment. Yeah.
Yep. Like, oh no, I'm reminded of this other thing
She's
that
gotta go hide in a
bombed.
cave.
Ruthie
The young
just
protect the
isn't a
old, and
character.
the old protect the young, or whatever. You know what I mean. But yeah.
Yeah.
Ruthie, I thought she was
She's just got
fine.
nothing
Like she's not
to do.
amazing, but
Which is fine.
she's sort of one note.
Well, what do we think
She's
of?
so I can't
Uh,
emphasize how good enough she is in the book. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah.
Okay, no,
that's
the
fair.
kind of message at the end of this, not message in like air quotes, but like the idea of Ruthie wanting to kill Krem at the end, and then Supergirl says, no, look, I know you want to kill this guy, but if you kill someone, you're going to have to carry that with you forever. And it's like, don't do
Yeah.
it, Ruthie, but I'm going to do it anyway. How do
So
we
I
feel
love-
about that?
I love this because she's sort of having the Clark moment of like, look, you don't want to, like, she's protecting Ruthie from having to do this, but then she
Mhm.
still does it because she has that darkness inside her that's like, but I can do it because I've already done,
But
my life's already fucked up to a
recognize-
certain
I'm already
degree
fucked
anyway.
up. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't disagree with girl, I don't know, I can't remember her name, Ruthie, when she's like, but if we would have fucking killed him, he wouldn't have hurt any of those people. And I'm like, yeah, maybe sometimes terrible things do need to happen to terrible people. Like, you know,
They
maybe
do,
turning the
but
other
the whole
cheek
thing
is
is, like,
not
she's-
always the solution.
Yes. But Kara's whole thing is protecting
But to protect
Ruthie's
her from that.
innocence. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think what I'm realizing is I think I just like this character more than the movie, and I wish the movie was a little bit better, but I still like the character and I like what they're doing with the character, and especially in juxtaposition to Superman. And I kind of want to see them together in a movie more. And so I would like, that's why I think like, Man of Tomorrow could be really good because it's going to be more Earth-based with her and him and Lex Luthor and all these characters that we like from Superman. So we'll see. But again, for like a one-off Surf Dracula coming to terms with who she is movie, it's not the worst thing in the world.
No, I just would have loved
That's all
to
I'll
see
say.
her in Cleveland with Clark doing a little mission, and then afterwards the crowd's all gathering around him and he's being super personable and she like doesn't know how to act, and it's like, this isn't like my scene. Like, give me something like that. Just
Yeah.
at least
That would have been a great
Yeah.
intro to see her a little bit on Earth interacting with Clark. The difference
it's my
between
birthday tomorrow,
he's-
circled on the calendar, when she wakes up.
And if
Like,
it's
do all that
her,
basic shit.
and she-
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's talking about she's got a big crush on Jimmy.
Oh,
I'm
Jimmy
just
Olsen.
laughing. I'm having a good
Yeah.
time. It's all good. The issue
They
is
do. Yeah.
I watched that Jack Quaid show, My Adventures with Superman.
Sure. Yeah.
It's got season 3 going right now.
I've seen some of
Kara,
it.
Supergirl is the big thing of season 2. And that whole show is anime inspired. I've talked a lot about the Evangelion, the Dragon Ball of it all mostly. And season 2, the choice they make is, what if Kara's the Vegeta? And they make like the most interesting choice in DC to do with that character. And now season 3 has her just as sort of like a supporting ensemble, right? And
Yeah.
it's so good. The performance is out of this world. She's the fan favorite character. That show's about to get its own Green Lantern spinoff, but basically every fan is like, no, 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 no. We're here for the Supergirl spinoff. We will be having the Supergirl spinoff, please, right? And I'm at this point where I'm like, I like Supergirl. Like Supergirl is a great character. And all those things, Jacob, where you're like, well, I actually like this movie because it's kind of a clever idea what they do with this character. Yes. Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
Jacob.
I like
I
the
agree with
Supergirl.
you.
and
That is
it's been done
my
better.
I
Yeah,
feel the same thing as you, except your belief of being like, and because of that, I'll give it an extra star, is me raging about how bad and poorly executed this movie is because I'm like, you have the premise of such a good idea. Why are you not fully embracing it?
yeah. I don't know. I agree with Mike. Like, this movie should have had like an opening scene. She's doing a mission with Clark on Earth. It's like the day before her birthday.
That's what
Clark's
I
like,
said.
"Hey, do you want
Yeah.
to like hang out? You want to do something?" She's like, "I think I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna go out in space and like go to some alien bars or whatever." And
She
she goes
reads a
and does
letter
that.
from her
That would
dead
have been a much
family. Right. We really
yeah.
sell that she misses
See her
It
on
Krypton.
Earth to
literally,
begin with. Yeah,
she stops a robot with Clark. She does it a little more aggressive. The people she saves kind of cower, and Clark has to go, "Hey guys, did you get a snow cone over there? Everybody's fine." Kara, remember, they're a little more
Yeah.
delicate. We have to put them. She's frustrated and goes, "Actually, this weekend, Crypto and I are just blah blah blah." Takes off. Like
Yeah.
that
yeah.
is all
Boom.
you need for the context of this film to make 50% more sense for her character.
It would have been
Honestly,
better, and to see her not fitting in on Earth a little bit,
yes.
and to actually
Just a
see her
bit.
on Earth and just see her not fitting in, and maybe that was in the footage that was the 20 minutes that was cut out or whatever. But to just
And then
start
have
sort of in media res where she's on this alien
Yes.
bender, it doesn't work
yeah,
as
have
well.
Clark say, "This is an iPod. Maybe try out and listen to some of these songs that I like." Like, and so she's like kind of like going
Yeah,
along with it. That's why she has that. Like, there's things you could have done a lot a bit better, not a little. But I like the character,
the other
Jacob.
thing
To your
is,
point, I want a better
I like
movie
the
for this
character.
character. Yeah,
I can
Yeah.
agree with that. I wish the movie was better. At the same time, I didn't dislike the movie as strongly as maybe as Colin did or you guys did.
I
But
categorize this
um,
movie in the realm of super slop, the middle of the range
yeah,
to mediocre. We're on the volume, a lot of CG, basic ass
but it's
shit.
better than a lot of other super
I'd
slops.
say they all kind of taste the same, you know.
That's
One
fair.
burrito
That's
bowl is
fair.
the same as the next one. One corporate slop is
It's
the same
better
as the
than
rest.
Thor: The Dark World.
Oh, what it
Yeah,
has
but
a
I
Gorn,
liked
the God Eater, or whatever.
Yeah,
We
but I
got one of
like
those.
some
that's Love and Thunder.
Superman stuff more than this. I like the Bryan Singer movie more than this one.
Or the X-Men's, or the Bryan Singer Superman.
Superman.
Uh,
Superman
The
Returns.
Superman one. Yeah,
I
I
will
like
say,
Superman Returns more than this.
I've been seeing a lot of clips from that anime style Superman show with Kara going around on social now, and I don't even watch animated
Mm.
stuff, but I like this character enough, and seeing these clips, I'm like, I
It's
think
good,
I gotta
Mike.
watch that Superman anime.
Mike, it's good. It's
So
good,
maybe I'll
Mike.
fire it up.
Jack
Yeah,
Jack is doing
tell
so
me.
good in
I've seen
voices.
some of it.
We've
Yeah,
loved Boimler our whole lives, but this
Yes.
run he's about to have with God of War and stuff, he's about to be on a legendary run.
Hell
They just
yeah.
cast him Invincible for the next season.
Oh
oh,
wow.
great, great.
You're done with the boys? You want to record some
Um,
voices? Yeah, come on over, Jack.
yeah, Invincible's good. No, yeah, I've seen some of the show, and again, like it's interesting because it's more from you see it from Lois Lane's perspective, where she starts dating Superman.
Tomboy Lois. Oh,
Yeah,
Jacob.
short pixie
Jacob.
cut hair.
Let me tell you something. It's a
Uh,
very sexual fan base, Jacob. Let me tell you something.
All right.
so I might have to keep
That's
watching
anime.
that. And of course, I've seen every animated DC movie that's ever existed. So I've seen them all. But
He's a DC
I
kid.
agree. I think we kind of agree that we like this character and we want to see more of this character within this world. But this movie isn't the
We
strongest, and we
disagree on
wish it
how some of
was
the sequences have
better.
landed for us personally. Yeah, but
Yeah, personally, I just I thought it was fine. Like, I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it was. I've seen worse superhero movies for sure, but I've seen better superhero movies, and it's not as good as Superman, obviously. And it's a little disappointing, but at the same time, I do want to see more of this character.
so agree. I could do.
But I
Ruthie
do
can stay at home, but Supergirl, come hang out. Yeah, you're done.
But do want to emphasize one more time that like this is the equivalent of like if the Daredevil Ben Affleck show had been called Watchmen. Like it's that level of an adaptation of the comic book. Like the comic book is incredible. Like it is known
Yes.
for just like being so
That's what I've heard. Like it's a bad adaptation.
Just
the
shoot
ending
this.
is like that's what I don't understand, Mike, is that like if you're going to take these shortcuts and be like, and you're going to love our universe because we adapt the good comic books. Everybody's always talking about why doesn't Marvel just do XYZ book exactly? Guess what, guys? We're doing the best Supergirl book as our second book, and you're like, oh, so you're going to do the Space Dragon? And they're like, okay, so we don't have. Okay, so the thing is, so we
They
have
wanted to make it
Creme
their
of
own.
the Yellow Hills. So you're like, right,
Yeah.
but he's like Creme of the Yellow Hills from the book. They're like, okay. So like, look, what we have is we have a
Yeah.
guy with a bunch of little balls in his face.
Mhm.
The other thing, Colin, like you're saying, like the comic book is so colorful and vibrant, and Superman was such a colorful and vibrant movie, and then you get this movie and it's so brown and sort of post-apocalyptic and like dirty and gross, and it's
But
like they wanted to make it Guardians of the Galaxy style, but it was like Craig Gillespie trying to imitate James Gunn and just didn't work.
but again, Jacob, if Craig Gillespie literally says, I don't like how the comic book looked, I'm not the guy for that. Here's what I want to do, something dirty. And the second part is literally exactly what you said, that you have James Gunn coming out and being like, my whole thing about my universe is it's auteur driven. I get the
Yeah.
best directors to put their stamp on these things.
So we got Craig
Why-
Gillespie. Yeah.
Why would this be the guy to follow you if you're showing that off by saying it's basically the exact same version of the thing I do?
Yeah.
It's a bad release schedule because James Gunn, when he was announcing DCU and all this stuff, he was like, and look, every movie is not going to look like Superman. Everything's going to have its own style. There's not a house style. He was very big on this, like MCU as a house style. You don't have a house style.
It's not all Superman. For instance, we have you heard of Supergirl?
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think that is going to be true with like Clayface and Green Lantern, and like Lanterns, like is not going
Yes.
to look anything like Superman. Having this movie come out and it's like an imitation of James Gunn Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like that was not the best foot forward for the DCU. I definitely agree with that.
Who should have directed this? Because one, it should have been a woman.
Yeah.
Not
Mhm.
to be that guy, but two, it should have been someone who actually has style. It should have been like a Catherine Bigelow or somebody who's fucking trapped in these fucking Netflix slop worlds, you know, and actually like
Right.
let them break free.
Yeah, Chloe Zhao
Well-
run back the Eternals effort. At least she'll film it
No,
outside.
Like,
I don't know though. I didn't see
yeah,
that
at
one.
least it would be real. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think
see
what
that
I
one.
mean,
her
Or you
creme
get-
would be handsome.
Yes.
Patty Jenkins, you're like, oh, you're disappointed with how Wonder Woman worked out. Why don't you come and make the Supergirl movie? I don't know. So, but they got Craig Gillespie, who again is a very mid director, who I don't like any of his movies very much.
Yeah.
But I guess
Mhm.
he does have sort of the feminist angle with making the Cruella movie
Right.
with Emma Stone
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I,
you're
Tonya. So he's got, you can see some thematic similarity with I, Tonya, with Cruella.
Him and
with this
Tommy
movie.
about a horrible thing that happened to a woman. Obviously, that
Right.
Mhm.
counts.
Yeah. In that realm.
But again, yeah, I think Millie Alcock, innocent.
Yeah.
David Corney Sweat,
Movie
innocent.
bad.
Mhm.
Movie mid, but I loved it, but it's not amazing.
The
Do we want to go to final
twist
thoughts?
of the book
Yeah.
is that literally she goes, "Well, it's not a big deal. What are you talking about? Crypto's invincible. I was tricking you because you seemed so sad that you seemed like you needed help."
But see, I don't know if I like that because I like that she
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's good. I'm just saying that allowed that book to have a ton of a little character named Crypto, who I love a ton. I would like.
I
more
love
Crypto in
Crypto,
this movie.
and I love seeing little baby Crypto in the flashbacks, and then seeing Crypto
Who is-
interact with her.
Crypto was a street rat
Yeah.
who lived for Think about how many generations of space dogs lived on the streets of a crumbling society, slowly dying of space poison, where instead David Krumholtz said, now, I know we could probably fit one more kid in here, but what if I
Look,
just
I'm
crammed
dying
this
of
fucking puppy dog
starvation.
right on top? You know what would make you feel good? Fucking puppy dog. Here's what you're gonna get.
I like
This is
how
it,
so
yep.
Kryptonians are just humans that under a yellow sun gain superpowers, and then they also have dogs that are exactly like our dogs that gain
Yes.
superpowers under a yellow sun.
It's
They
an
got
anomalous
seeded dogs.
evolution,
It's
but
very
yes, their
convenient.
dogs evolved exactly
Yeah.
the same way as ours did. I was thinking
Yeah.
of that too. Yeah. Cool. What are the odds?
But I like crypto, obviously, and I was even going to recommend this to my sister, this movie, because my sister is an animal lover, and she liked Crypto and Superman. I'm like, look, you got to check this out. She's got to avenge her dog. It's John Wick.
I remember her telling me she thought Superman was okay. There is
Yeah.
no way she likes this movie, Jacob. You were living in a fantasy world, my friend.
But it's about a woman who thinks she's invincible because she's a Supergirl, and then her dog gets poisoned, and she's got 3 days to try to save her dog from dying. I mean, those are some stakes where it's like, oh, shit is real now. She can't just be sarcastic and like whatever about it because she's got to save her dog. So
The
And
only
what if a
thing.
European guy was nearby?
Yeah, why is this guy from the Eastern Bloc too? I didn't even bring that up, man.
Oh,
Space
Mike.
Russian, bro.
He's very Ukrainian Russian.
What is
well,
this choice?
there's only certain
Fiat.
ethnicities that you can sort of make your space bad guy without it becoming racist or xenophobic in some way. So
Never forget that Superman himself did stop the Israel conflict.
Hmm.
that's right. Never forget that Hawk Girl dropped Netanyahu to his death.
Yes.
That's right.
Incredible. Exactly.
And
And
Supergirl read about that in the paper and was like, I don't understand any of this. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, and King was covering that for the CIA. It's all in the memoir.
Right. But let's head over to final thoughts and wrap up our thoughts on Supergirl.
We're back. We're back
back.
talking Supergirl. We're wrapping things up here. Jacob, I brought us back early because you're talking about House of the Dragon, Hot D.
Millie Alcock, young
Another
Rhaenyra.
Millie
Spoilers.
Alcock she is so good at doing fake languages. She can speak Targaryen and Kryptonian perfectly.
High
Right?
Valerian.
Yes, that's
so,
right.
yeah, High Valyrian, Kryptonian.
No, she's good at it. She sells it.
yeah.
Yeah. The Kryptonian was really good.
Millie Alcock, an Australian actress who sort of got her big break with Hot D. Also, when I was telling my sister about Supergirl, I was like, look, yeah, Millie Alcock from Hot D was in it. And she's like, oh, I don't think I like that actress. I was like, why not? She's like, she's weird. She's like, her face is weird looking, is what my sister said.
My
I was
mom said about her.
So I don't know why people are saying that. I mean,
She
she's got a unique look.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Unique is
My sister says she has an overbite or something. I don't know.
Oh, she can bite over me anytime she
Yeah, how
wants.
dare, how dare they?
Here's what I'll say also about Millie Alcock. She doesn't have perfect teeth. I noticed this in the close up. She's got kind of, people have different teeth. Like some people have more messed up teeth than others. She didn't
teeth
get
are differently
her teeth,
aligned.
like, fixed like a lot of Hollywood people will get veneers or get their teeth perfectly fixed and stuff. She didn't do that, and I think that's more. I like that because it makes her more of an every woman kind of.
Well,
person.
you know what? When speaking of pods in space and pod snatchers, whatever, we did the body snatchers, and we were like, man, there was a time when they just put regular people in movies, like just regular ass people.
Yeah.
And Millie Alcock has that kind
freaks.
of. She's beautiful, but she has that she's like a normal person, and I like that.
You don't need
I would
perfectly straight veneers. Yeah.
No, unless
I
you're
would assume
Superman.
she's a bogan, whereas like Margot
Bogan
Robbie
yes,
and
yeah.
Mara Weaving are like high class or something. You know what I mean? Like I just
Right.
assume that based on like aesthetic. So
Yeah,
Truly,
she'll
from
throw
my
the
understanding
SB
is she was
into
like
a goon bag. Yeah.
Yeah, prior to Hot D, from my understanding, she was a working actress who was like in bit parts, who was like working as like a in a bar or something as like a waitress. So like truly not was not expected to become like a star, now starring in her own superhero movie. I mean, she's come a long way in a couple years. So, I mean, good for her.
Yeah.
But
Good.
yeah, Hot D is back. So many dragons. You would not believe how many dragons are doing their dragon things
That's why we couldn't
in
get a
that
space
show.
dragon in this adaptation, because they saved all their dragon money for
Mm.
Hot D over there at Warner
Can't put
Brothers.
million dragons together. That's ridiculous.
It's
That's
ridiculous.
we can't make that many references to other things in this one movie. That's a step too
Yeah.
far. We can't put a dragon with
Here's-
Mary Alcock and Supergirl.
Here's my final thoughts. Here's how you fix something that I hated.
Okay.
So Peacemaker season 2
Oh,
ends with him on a new planet, right? He's on that
Mhm.
space planet
prison
prison
Space
thing.
prison.
paradise,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mm.
What if next time we go there, somebody else is locked up? Somebody else we've seen in a jail cell before. Jake.
Lobo.
Oh,
What if it's a little guy named Lobo and
Want
suddenly
Lobo
we
and
got
Peacemaker
these
to meet?
two big
John Cena and Jason
personalities
Momoa in the same
teamed
movie?
up together. And now what I said about having a straight character versus a wild character. Now John Cena is the ultimate straight character because of course he is inflated absurdist as well. That's what's so great about Peacemaker is he's straight to the max, right? Literally peace so much I'll kill you, right? Like he's so
Yeah.
funny that way.
so literally.
Yeah.
And if you put him with the ultimate anarchist, I
Could
don't
be
know.
interesting.
Does that fix Peacemaker season 3?
You said your dad's a
Now they
Nazi.
were both in
Let's kill him.
Fast and the Furious together because, of course, John Cena plays Jacob
Jacob Toretto.
Toretto.
Do you
Vin
bring
Diesel's
Dom
brother.
in? Do you bring Vin into the planet as well somehow, Jacob?
my
And does he
gosh.
play? Does he play some sort of other Superman villain?
Huh.
That would be crazy.
You already got a
I don't
bald guy
know.
though, so no Lex
Wait.
Luthor for you,
Yeah.
Vin.
He's
Chronicles of Riddick.
dude. What if Vin was Solomon Grundy and he talked real
Solomon
slow and weird, and they're
Grundy.
like, "Shut up, Grundy." He's like, Grundy. It was like really sad. You'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah,
that's
man.
great."
I don't know. And then you bring Chris Pratt in, and he's playing sort of a Peter Quill-esque character. No,
Where is
Yeah.
King Shark? Is King Shark erased from existence? Is he not canon technically? I guess Sylvester.
to me, I
Stallone?
think I consider everything in the Suicide Squad canon. I don't know what James
Yeah.
Gunn considers canon. Like, I think Margot Robbie could pop up as Harley Quinn in the DCU.
That's crazy to me, Jacob. I don't.
Is that crazy?
I don't know about
She
that.
met Peacemaker. She knows who
Yeah,
Peacemaker
of course, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm here for
she's
that.
she's the co-lead of that movie. Maybe first build.
is. Yeah.
So we're a little divided on this, on how much we like it, but I want to shout out. I was watching some reviews. There's this YouTube couple called Woman Carrying Man is their channel. And this is a married couple. They'll review movies together, but they have a kid. So sometimes they'll go separately. And then when they get together, that's the first time they're talking about it. And the husband hated this movie so much. And the wife loved it so much that their disagreement, I thought I was watching like a divorce proceeding in real time. There's like the split
Wow.
opinions on this movie. It is pretty wild. And his takes were similar to like it's the plot stuff. It's not the woke stuff. He had like reasonable
Right.
issues with kind of the story, like me and Colin maybe had. But she just liked the Supergirl character. She read all the comics. She's like, I know all this lore, and I just like seeing this character. It wasn't perfect, but she gave it like an 8 out of 10. But just wild to see how different opinions of this one movie is seeming to have people.
Yeah. I would say I'm more on the wife's side on that one.
Right.
Again, I like the character. I don't think the movie is great, but I think it's good enough that I don't think it was a disaster in terms of and I'll go the other way. Like, I don't think every female-led superhero movie is great. Like, I famously hated Wonder Woman 1984, one of my least favorite superhero movies of
Maxwell
all
Lord.
time. Maxwell
Right.
Lord, Cheetah. Yeah.
Ooh, choices were
And I
made.
like the
Yeah.
first Wonder Woman, okay?
Yeah,
And I
the first
love
one.
Birds of Prey. Like, I think Birds of Prey was one of the best DC EU Snyder era DC movies. And because I loved the Margot Robbie, and again, Margot Robbie had a relationship with a young Asian child, precocious
Oh, right,
character.
right.
So very similar to this movie.
Good. breakfast sandwich representation, not in this movie, but that
Yeah.
Harley Quinn
Oh yeah,
bagel.
great breakfast sandwich.
Yep,
You
yep.
got Ewan McGregor, the Black Mask,
And
playing
his wife.
an unusual villain.
Is that
Yeah.
Elizabeth
ultimately, are they
Winstead, the
also
Huntress.
again,
That's
but
right.
do they take a stand against trafficking in that as well? Is that what Black Mask ultimately stands
I think is
for?
that the
So.
case? I think you're right.
I think that's just a revenge. I think he's just trying to
Yeah.
kill them, and because remember Harley's like, "You're here because of this. I'm here because remember she has like that
Yeah.
scene where she kind of awkwardly has to like spell out while they're doing it.
Why
and you're
But it
everyone's
is
like,
kind of
there.
like Harley taking down the patriarchy,
yeah,
and she just, her being the Joker dumps her basically, and she's like, basically fuck Joker and fuck men. Like I'm doing my own thing
She
now,
just
and
has
then
to
it's a
crash out.
female-led group. I think people go back and watch Birds of Prey, one of the last movies I saw in theaters pre-COVID.
Wow.
It holds up, I think, better than a lot of those Snyder era DC movies. This movie,
I like it more
this
than
movie's
this.
not even as good as Birds of Prey. Yeah.
Right. But remember, a lot of people have done space western, but only one person had the guts to do space Viking, and that's Zack Snyder, and you can never take that from him.
that's right, Mike.
That's right.
Here's my final
Yeah.
argument to what you were saying, where you're hey, we're pushing back, this thing's good or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't win. There's no situation where I win. I paid to see this. Like you guys said, like that young woman fighting, for divorce against her husband.
Yeah.
I like this character. I want to see Supergirl succeed. The ads looked
That's
bad.
fair.
The trailers had nothing to showcase because she never wears the suit, and they only leaned on that one scene of her spinning the tank around. The special effects looked bad in that scene, so the trailer looked bad. So people probably didn't show up to this movie. This
Hmm.
movie being bad, again, I don't win by me thinking this movie's bad and then
Right.
it being bad by not making money. All that does is mean they're going to stop making these movies, which ultimately
No, I
I'm
want
like,
it to be better.
stop doing that. I like these movies. Yes, don't take Supergirl from me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
My
that
whole thing is
sucks.
that it's not the worst superhero movie I've ever seen. And I
No.
don't think it's in the bottom quadrant. It's totally average and mid, I think, but I loved it.
Yeah, I
But
love this.
I think it's totally average. I think it's mid. I think it's what you'd call low on the spectrum. I think it's a 10 out of 10. Frankly, I love
you
it.
can
It's
love
Pretty
a mid
disappointed. I
movie.
loved it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Again, I
Yeah.
think about Fantastic
Uh-huh.
Four First Steps. I'm like, this is
Ooh.
a better movie than that movie.
I can't stand that movie, Jason. Like you're
Yeah.
beating nothing for me.
But
None of these
if you
are good.
compare it to its peers, I mean, it's not the worst movie. That's all I'm saying. And I agree that I agree with what you're saying, and I understand why you're saying it. So I'll just say that. And I agree that it's probably, like you said, like people who've read the comic book, like it's not as good as the comic book, and I appreciate that, and I wish it was, because I do want to see more DCU, and I don't want them to kill it. So it's been sort of a weird way to release this universe. I can agree with that. Also, we didn't mention the needle drops, and Colin, you mentioned the needle
Oh, we
drops, and
kind
it's
of
not a
did.
way to cover bad
What's
writing.
remind me what the last song is with the weird
So the last
hair, 'cause
song,
it's so
and
weird.
this has
It's Jimmy Eat
been,
World, right?
it's a cover of Jimmy Eat World, The Middle. It's like an acoustic cover.
That's so
Yeah,
crazy.
It's
what a
been
That's
choice.
sort of
so crazy.
derided on the internet as like the
I can't
worst needle
believe
drop
it.
of all time.
I can't, Jacob, I out loud
Yeah.
said bullshit. I said that out loud, and you have to understand that again, a 72-year-old woman was sitting next to me going, bleh, bleh.
No, I read on, like, I was trying to avoid spoilers online and stuff on Twitter and stuff, but I did read, like, people are like, you will not believe how bad this needle drop is, and
Take
how far we've
some
fallen from.
time, little
Yeah,
girl.
it doesn't feel
Just
like it
a
fits the scene at
little
all,
outward.
which
It's like,
is,
pow, pow,
again,
Mhm.
bang.
we've
Do
fallen
it,
so far from
Kara.
James Gunn, from Guardians of the Galaxy, dropping these great 70s songs and Fleetwood Mac, The Chain, and all this stuff. And somehow we've gotten to now, a lot of people didn't like in Superman when Mr. Terrific has a fight scene and there's kind of that
Mm-hmm.
whatever that song is, 5 years time.
Yeah.
People are like, that's a weird choice, but I kind of liked it. I thought that
I
worked. Yeah.
kind of liked it. It was a weird
That's-
choice.
Yeah.
Jacob, Captain Marvel, where they're on the spaceship with the scrolls, and it
Yes.
kicks on
It's
the
just a
jukebox,
girl,
and
no
it's
doubt.
"I'm Just a Girl" by No Doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would put that up
that's
there with
on the
just being
nose.
like, what the fuck are we doing here, dog? Like, truly, like, lowest of the low moments in cinema
That's super on the
history.
nose and super obvious, but at least it sort of fit the tone of the fight scene. I felt like this one, the acoustic Jimmy Eat World middle, where it's like this slow cover of Jimmy Eat World. It's like, and here's the thing, I was reading like, oh, James Gunn had input. They tried like 45 different songs, and they felt like this song was the one that fit the scene. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Hey guys, you blew it. Cut the scene. Cut
You
the
blew
scene.
it.
I know that it's like
Yeah.
what you would consider the climax of your movie. Rework all of that, guys.
Yeah.
I would also be pointing to certain characters named certain colored hills that need to just, let's say,
Yeah.
just like get looked at again. Like, let's
Right.
say.
Well, the
right?
villain is super flat, but I mean, the MCU has had a ton of villains that were super flat as well. So
Yep.
again, it's as good as a mid MCU movie, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
so you can say that as criticism or whatever. But
Dog.
it's that needle drop. I was
can't
reading
believe
online. You will not believe how bad this needle drop is, and I was like, no, I don't
can't
believe it. And then I watched it, and I was like, okay, that was pretty bad. Needle
Okay,
drop.
Okay, I believe it.
you were
Implore you
right.
to reconsider.
Yeah.
Um,
And there was other needle drops throughout the movie that were also not that good either. It's like, James Gunn, like the 70s soft rock fits so well with Guardians of the Galaxy. Like those soundtracks are what, like, part of what makes those movies so good. But now we just get random like needle drops that don't even fit the tone of the scene that they're in. I just don't know what we're
She
doing here.
loves Blondie. Blondie is a messy blonde drunk, and you're like, she
Yeah.
is. Like, what
Again,
are you talking about?
trying to fit the female Peter Quill over Supergirl when it doesn't make sense. Like, oh, she's into retro American culture for some reason, even though she grew up on a Kryptonian colony and has no connection to America. That's like a big part of her character, is that she doesn't identify with Earth, but for some reason she loves old Earth songs. It just doesn't work,
yeah.
unfortunately.
When I was watching this movie, like at different parts throughout, I just kept thinking, movies aren't movies anymore. They're just content. Like that's how this felt to me largely. It's like movies aren't movie,
Really?
just content churn.
Here,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep sniping little moments. Like this is nothing. This just shows you just like how easy it is to clean these things up, right? Get the Blondie shirt off her.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a Mighty Mighty Crabjoy shirt. Make it the dumb tie-in that James Gunn does, and have
It's only nerds like that, not cool guys.
But Jacob, literally have Ruthie say, "Your
That's not real
shirt, it
punk
must
rock.
be mighty warriors on your planet Earth." Actually, kid, I'm not from Earth. I'm from Krypton. And you know what? No, this is
Some
some
nerd
dumb
band that my cousin
band that my cousin
Yeah.
likes, that that like I wear because it makes me think of him. The little things that you could do to be like, oh, she is a person, oh, she's a human, that are instead scenes of like, did I tell you my sad backstory about how I lived in a graveyard before I came here, and then I saw my cousin in his underwear? The little girl's like, that must have been hard for you.
But I
Mm-hmm.
do like when she's talking about Clark, and he's like, "Oh, so you're like Superman?" He's like, "No, he's like a nerd."
Yeah, he
Like I like
sucks.
that moment when
Yeah.
he's like a nerd.
You could yeah.
Um,
Like, oh, I didn't do laundry because I'm fucking drunk and lazy. Like, this is the only shirt I have. And my dumb cousin gave it to me. I don't even like this band. Like, this is just all I
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
clean.
Mike, it's that much. Now, the end of this film is a little girl says, by the way, now that we've got closure, I've decided I'm going to live with my aunt and I'll make swords. And Kara's like, yeah, and I'm cleaned up and I'm not going to drink, but maybe one more party. And she's like, can I come with you? Hooray.
Yo.
I thought that was
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, they don't check IDs on this
Yeah.
planet. It's gonna be fun. Let's
Yeah.
go, child.
And again, I like when she comes back to Earth and has the scene with Clark and is like, maybe I'll stay around a little longer this time. And yeah, David Corn Sweat's still a great Superman.
No post-cred scene to me is them going like, we have no faith in this thing. Like, we can't get anyone to stay.
They tricked me because I sat through all the whole credits in the theater, and then it just ended. I was like, I thought there was going to be a post-credit scene.
I'm sitting next to a 72-year-old brat who is saying over and over again, I told you it was going to be bad. I hated it. Now I am, we are watching the credits. It is maybe playing an instrumental of that Jimmy Eat World song. I don't like, it's truly like I'm having like PTSD from this thing. I get on Google. It says there is no post-credit scene, but we urge you to stay because the score is so good. I read that out to my mom. She says, there's nothing to even wait for. Get us out of here. I'm like fuming at this point, Jacob.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been madder to watch a movie.
I will say my theater, pretty full, pretty lively, Sunday evening, and people were laughing in the theater at some of the lines and stuff. People seemed like they're having a good time. So, and also a lot of kids and stuff, which is interesting because this totally isn't totally a kids movie. Like, it's a little more adult.
Human trafficking.
One of the first scenes, she's like, I really gotta pee, and then she just fucking starts peeing, and
Dude, you know what I really liked about this movie? We see fluids come out of both ends of Kara. She takes a huge piss and she falls asleep while doing it, and then she takes a huge puke later.
Yes.
You know, she's living in her own filth, getting drunk.
Dude,
like, she doesn't give a
so
fuck.
Funny.
Yeah. So I went to 2 movies the day that I saw this. At 1:30, I saw a re-release of Godzilla vs. Biollante. So I have my Godzilla shirt because he fought Superman several times in the comic books. And so I saw that in the afternoon and went home, took a nap, went back to Superman. Pretty packed Alamo for both things. But the people who went to Godzilla, they were the only ones who had children. And then when the movie ended, and that's a very boring movie, Godzilla vs. Biollante is fucking boring until you get to the Godzilla parts, like most of them. And then after, they were like, this is her favorite movie. She watches it like multiple times a week. She's so stoked. And I'm like, that's parenting, because they took her to a foreign film with subtitles. And like, this is the shit we're exposing you to. And I'm like, that's so much more enriching than Supergirl. So that's where I will leave it. Yeah.
Yo, well, check it out. I was going to do what I always call my method of the prepubescent price out, which is that I buy 3D tickets, because then kids never are in those showings, because adults never waste the money to buy kids for 3D tickets. But I missed the timing, so I was like, all right, lady, we're going to this fucking one instead. There was nobody inside it, Doug. We were like one of 6.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, my movie surprisingly full and surprisingly a lot of kids there, and a lot of little babies talking during the movie, which is, you know, something I'm not a huge fan of, but I can excuse it when it's little kids. But yeah, I was like, are kids getting anything out of this? I don't know. I mean, it's a little dark for kids too, but I guess she's a good role model for young girls.
Don't let your friends see you do a murder on their behalf. You know?
Yeah, I like that dark ending. Like, if she just let him go, it wouldn't work as well. It's instead of her stopping Ruthie from killing him, but then going back and killing him anyways. Kind of shows her darkness.
The guy in my row, the only guy who was basically in my row, was a guy who looked like he'd be posting on the Snyderverse subreddit. And he was a big
I knew James Gunn would ruin this.
And on the back of his leg, he had an Ash from Evil Dead tattoo that was like photorealistic. I was like, okay, guy, I'm watching you. Like, I got an eye on you. Now, he made no noises the whole time. Got his phone out 3 times to, I don't know, look at the time, not text or anything. He like looked at it for a second, put it right back. The second it hit the credits, he got up and walked right out. It's like, was this movie for him? Like, what is his relation? Like, you know, like, what are like middle-aged dudes' relationship to Supergirl, let alone kids, Jacob? I don't know who's this movie's fucking for.
Well, there is definitely some people my age, our age, in my screening that were there that definitely were like, you know, superhero fans or whatever.
Okay.
and I don't know what they thought of it. Definitely some people waiting with me to the end of the credits for no post credit scene, and then walking out dejectedly. But I don't know. Yeah, this movie not doing well financially. Toy Story 4 came out around the same time. That's kind of dominating. Toy Story 5, not even 4. I never even
You've
saw
said
4.
that
That's
so
why I
many
missed
bad.
4.
I know.
We don't like 4.
3 was the last one I saw. That's where the series ends for me because that was a
Mhm.
perfect ending. Anyways,
Yeah.
that'll be on our
I
Toy
told
Story
you. I
episode.
told you there were 5 Ghostbusters the other day, and you said there's no way that's true.
There's no way that's true
Yeah, I guess
because
there
I've
are.
only seen 2 of them.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Toy Story, you got to imagine that's taking all the family audiences. Like, I was surprised there were so many families in mine because you
Yeah.
would expect them all to be going to Toy Story. But so yeah, 38 million opening weekend, same as Masters of the Universe, a huge flop. And Mortal Kombat made like 28 million its first weekend. So it just flops all around. And I guess, yeah, Spider-Man will be sort of the bellwether to say like, oh, this summer is like a total flop outside of Obsession and Backrooms and animated CGI.
That's
If
one of those.
Spider-Man can't get it done, yeah, that's a huge, huge red flag. Like Supergirl is still somewhat
Yeah.
obscure, but like if Superman or Spider-Man can't do it,
Spider-Man,
yeah, it's fucking over.
Yeah.
It's Jover.
It's one of those things where I think if you're the owner of a studio, you literally go in front of the Senate or Trump. Like you have like a hearing where you like literally are like something's wrong with the economy. Like nobody saw a Spider-Man.
Our
movie.
Spider-Man
Like,
movie flopped.
like,
and
yeah.
usually,
like you killed Star Wars. Like you've killed us, sir.
well,
We
they're
already
doing
had that
another
with
Rush
Grogu,
Hour.
which still made more money than all these other ones.
Yeah.
But and then the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, if that bombs, it's like even serious adult movies are bombing now too. So
Usually,
I don't know. But
movie theater visitation rates increase during a recession too, as people want to be like, I need to escape from the hellscape around me. So people generally should be going to movies more based on how things are going. So I wonder what the hell's going on.
I think the Odyssey will be really interesting because obviously Oppenheimer made a lot of money for the kind of movie that it is, like over like 200 million for a 3-hour
Long, slow,
biopic
artsy
about
movie.
J.
Yeah.
Robert Oppenheimer. Yeah.
I will say this. I saw a matinee for this film. It was $13.50 for each of our tickets. It is $17.50 if you go to the regular showing.
Yikes.
It's a lot of money.
Alamo's
Oh,
20.
As
and
one
Disclosure
ticket.
Day. Disclosure Day is doing okay.
I believe officially labeled a bomb today.
But outselling this movie, Masters of the Universe, Mortal Kombat, etc. But again, name recognition of the director, Steven Spielberg, only goes so far. So yeah, we'll see. Spider-Man, Odyssey. We'll see how this summer
has
goes.
No box office pull with that name like that. Yeah, come on.
That's right.
Well, yep.
People just
I think
love the Cruella so much.
From the creator of Cruella comes Supergirl. Adaptation of the beloved comic book with almost nothing to do with the comic book. Coming soon to a theater near you. The character and the actress deserve much better material, and that's where I leave it.
And maybe we'll see more of her next summer in Man of Tomorrow. But Normies, write in, tell us what you thought of this movie and why you agree with me that it's not as bad as people are saying.
There we go.
There we go.
I'm alone on this island because it's getting like a 56% on Rotten Tomatoes or something, which I guess is fair. Like it's not a total disaster, but it's just
I think the worst part is the B- cinema score, which is the rate recommend where they say
That's
if you
more
get
than I thought it would get.
Well, terrible word of mouth is killing it, and obviously Obsession, the box office story of the year, survived on great word of mouth. If this movie had been better and had good word of mouth, it might have done a little better. But it's just people already weren't that excited about it, and then people going and saying, "Well, it's pretty mid to bad."
You got your way, Jacob. We did this over a scary movie episode. Okay, you got what you wanted.
I wanted Jackass.
Yeah, we got Jackass in theaters. We got Scary Movie.
Jackass Bombing 2, unfortunately, set a record for lowest opening.
I've heard half of it's like a clip show anyway. Like it's half old stuff rerun.
Yeah.
And then so it's like
That to me is
wait
like
till it streams.
a movie I'll catch on streaming and laugh at these guys injuring themselves. We love them though. Johnny Knoxville, we love him.
Those are one of those things where it's like the next time I see All My Friends, I'm like, pull up one of them newest
Let's
Jackass
throw that on
movies,
there.
my guys, and let's look up what happened to Uncle Vito. Oh, what happened? Oh, no.
Don't worry about that.
No, we don't care about that. No,
Well, Bam Margera. I mean,
no.
Bam Margera.
Oh,
very,
well,
sad
surely
what's going
Bam's
on with
doing
him.
okay. Wait, why is this Wikipedia multiple pages long?
It still goes.
Yeah.
Huh,
This one's
Yeah.
called
Down here-
Best and Last. So this is
The
the last
allegation.
Jackass.
Carousel
movie.
would have fit right in with the Jackass crew, though. Like this version of her in the beginning of this movie. She'd been down for some antics.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Right.
Watch,
she laughs at
watch me
pain.
fight a predator.
I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is flying into the space. And she flies him up to the sun and back, you know? It'd be great.
That's right.
Anyway.
But Normies, tell us what you thought. We got Crypto on the mic here. Check out Mike's
we
Mic
do.
Toppers. Yeah,
God,
we love them.
They're incredible, Mike. They
There's
had
so many.
they had the fucking fleshlight Supergirl cup
Oh,
at my theater that surely you guys have seen.
Oh.
The weird.
the
I saw the
duster
Lobo
jacket.
motorcycle that holds like 5
Yeah.
ounces of popcorn or whatever.
This is basically has a foreskin. It's wrapped in her jacket.
It looks
Mike,
very
that would
phallic.
be an incredible topper on that.
Oh my
thing.
gosh.
It's so phallic.
Well, when we get Supergirl 2, which I'm sure we will, I have it ready to go.
There we go.
Yeah, buddy.
There we go. Now,
well,
Jacob, I don't mind to put you on the spot about
Yeah.
what is coming up next week. I think we're maybe still.
next week is, let's say, TBD.
It's a mystery. It's a surprise just for you.
Even to
Episode.
us, even to us, listeners, a mystery to us.
It's
That's
TBD,
right.
but obviously at the end of the month we'll be doing our long form X-Men. We'll be doing X-Men: The Last Stand by famous director Brett Ratner, not BS, BR.
BR.
Both sex pests, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it true that Hawkwoman dropped Brett Ratner onto a car?
Yes, I think Brett Ratner, director of Melania, the famous documentary Melania, and who lives in Israel currently. So
You said that's the bonus episode we're doing for this series. We're watching Melania.
yeah, we're watching Melania, and then we're gonna watch the Rush Hour movies,
Rush Hour 4.
including
I
the new
wish.
Rush Hour that Donald Trump said we should that
that the
we should
government
produce.
is sponsoring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Jackie Chan's
we
going to
need to
beat up
keep
the
Chris
radical
Tucker
left.
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So we'll figure out, but we're doing something next week,
Yeah.
and it'll
We'll
be
figure
great.
it
I'm
out.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They always are. And you're great for listening to this. Yeah, you. That's right,
Thank
Jared.
you.
You're doing great.
That's right.
Tom,
Yeah,
Sally.
Jared.
I love you guys listening to this. Thank you.
Kara.
Oh, yeah.
Kara, Ruthie, Lobo, all our favorite
Oh, yeah.
characters.
When, at the end, it came up after the credits. It did say, Lobo will return. You know, the motorcycle revved.
Mm,
Did it really?
No, that didn't happen.
that would
It
be
should
good.
have.
And they get away with it because they list all the characters as appearance by. So Lobo's listed fairly further in the credits, opposed to getting and Jason Momoa or something like that.
In order of
Yeah.
appearance. I see.
Yeah.
All right.
What was his
Well-
last hit movie?
Jason Momoa?
Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Well,
Aquaman 1.
I guess so. Which
Aquaman
did make a
one?
billion.
well, he's doing stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
he's doing like what, the Wrecking Crew or whatever on Amazon.
Yeah, and that makes how much money when movies are released directly to Amazon. May I ask?
Oh, he was in the Minecraft movie. Don't forget that. That was a
Oh,
hit.
fuck.
You
That
know
is
what,
his latest
Jacob?
hit.
And ladies and gentlemen, good night. We appreciate you listening. Check us out at Normies _like_us, where you can listen to.
This movie
our
should
other
have Jack
episodes.
Black in it.
We have a Minecraft episode. And guess what? Here's what I would do in the next film. I would have Kara meets a lovable alien played by Jack Black. Doesn't that
Ah.
sound fun, Jacob?
That sounds great. As we
Or
know,
Jack
Jack
Quaid.
Black guaranteed box
Steve.
office. Super Mario.
Yeah. Super Mario. Oh yeah, that's why they are going to
Gonna
get
call
Chris
it.
Pratt in here too, because yeah, get that Mario money.
Yeah. Hey, it's me, Mario. Mamma mia.
Yep. Well, we just talked
All
about
right.
Zor-El. See ya.
Cousin, my parents told me all about Uncle Bradley and his views. Tell me, did you mate with millions of women? No, Kara, I'm totally normal.
Have you
Yes.
conquered Earth yet?
Yes.
Yeah. Where's
Yeah.
your harem of women?
My aunt said you have a mighty penis for a baby and that you must take them all and kill anyone who usurps you. How did that play out? No.
I just work at a newspaper, and sometimes when I'm feeling crazy, I'll have breakfast for
Yeah.
dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, Normies. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. We have been your hosts. This is Colin Kent.
Mike of the Yellow Hills, I guess. Whatever.
This is Jake Bo,
There
aka
he is.
Joe Bo.
Vroom, vroom. Hey, brother.
Hey.
But remember, it's here, brother. Because it's actually serious, brother.
I'm doing a totally different voice from my Aquaman.
I'm not excited. I'm concerned, kind of.
Yep.
Yeah, right, girly.
I approve of that murder.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
But for real, happy birthday.
What a nice guy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.